Alright, so when we have, well actually first off, is everybody level?
Yes.
Okay. John, you're on
Do
level?
we have any promotions? Do you want to promote DiceCon at the start of the video?
Hey guys, check it out. December 8th at the Ocean Shores Convention Center, we're doing a dice convention. There's very little to do with dice, mostly Warhammer. Everything else doesn't matter. But actually, no, it's gonna be really cool. We've got some vendors lined up. We've got more than just Warhammer's gonna be there. There's gonna be Infinity, Gaslands, a bunch of these low, really easy to get into games. If you have Hot Wheels, you can play Gaslands. Just, it's gonna be a great time. It's like $10 to get in, so pretty cheap.
There's a big tournament too, right?
And huge tournament. 100 Warhammer players are gonna be there. And we're already sold out for the tournament. But plenty of Dungeons and Dragons rooms. There's gonna be a Magic the Gathering tournament. Yeah, just a whole bunch of fun. It's December 7th or December 8th and 9th. Be there.
Ocean Shores, Washington. We don't know.
I think I'm gonna get a hotel room out there, so I don't have to drive back and forth.
Right. Wintertime at the beach is cheaper than summertime for sure.
Yeah.
Alright, so everybody is leveled. And let's see. When we had left off, you guys were outside of Geo's farm. You basically just dropped off the pregnant lady, the children, and the giant battle axe, along with the 3 farm animals that managed to survive the trek, both to and fro. One pig did lose its life to dinner the night before, but you guys didn't get to partake in that, unfortunately. So, you're standing out in the rain, in the muck. You can either go back to the ruins of the farm where you've already been, or you can head back towards town. What's your plan?
No sense going back to the farm.
No, we were going to drop her off at her friend's house.
Which is where
on
we're
our way
at.
home. Oh, that's where we're at?
Yeah.
Yeah, then let's just go back to town, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of skipped ahead from camping.
Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah.
So, you guys make your way down the road, and you don't pass any other travelers going out this direction. I'm not sure where my counting that. So it doesn't really matter at this point. But you guys had to camp on the way there. So you will need to make camp again on the way back unless you're traveling through the night. So, for camp, are you guys going to try and make it to the same spot that you camped before? Are you going to try and pick a new location?
I think that if it's
How far away is it to where we camped before?
It's about a day's travel, basically. You guys were 2 days out of town, so you'd stopped one night out and then continued. So, if you drop them off in the morning, you'd probably get there a little later at night than you did the first time, just because your first 2 or 3 hours of travel of the day were a lot slower with children and animals.
Well, I guess we really have to camp in the same place.
I guess when it starts getting nightfall, we'll start looking for what looks like safe shelter.
Okay. So give me a set of, everybody give me perception checks.
What's the point of the dice tray?
17.
19. 12.
5.
Akiko's too busy flexing at herself in mud puddles to really pay attention. You guys notice that on your way basically back towards the direction that you came from, there aren't any new sets of prints in the mud. There's kind of the single file path that you guys made on your way here, which is basically on one of the wagon ruts. And there's the large booted footprints that I think Chuldaiku you had seen during a watch. Is that right? But they only go the one direction and they are gone. So nightfall comes as you guys are basically you're approaching. You're familiar with where you're at. You're getting closer to your campsite at this point from where you camped before. So you can choose to either continue on towards it or you can camp for the night.
What is it like shelter-wise, what do we got here?
You're still kind of in some trees. It's a forested area that you're in at the moment. You won't hit the plains again until about halfway through tomorrow. But a lot of the farms out here are more of the timber industry than necessarily growing grains and things like that.
Might as well just camp here.
Yeah, but I don't think we haven't really had much in the way of shelter on any of our campsite anyway, so.
Yeah.
Much to
Trees.
your dismay.
Trees is fine.
Oh, yeah.
Better than out in the open.
Okay, so for watch cycles, I swear to God, I wrote down this stuff.
Because I don't think I ever wrote our particular,
Well, and you guys may decide to
change it up.
spice it up.
Pretty sure it was first, second, third, last.
I think that's right.
Something close.
There it is. Yes, Chuldaiku, Quill, Akiko, and us.
Yep.
Very good, John.
I pay attention.
Someone has to.
15.
For
Perception check.
Watch.
Watch.
whoa, 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 whoa.
He was a little
No,
ahead, but
you were ahead of the game. I was like, what's he going for? Cool. Okay. So your watch goes without incident. More rain, constantly falling. You don't see anything approaching your footprints this time on your perimeter checks. Well,
Ooh, it's gonna be another 19.
okay, so shortly after probably midnight, because you probably would have watched on the first watch about 4 hours or so, you see something off in the distance. And by in the distance, I mean it's probably, you'd say 20 or 30 yards away from you, and it's a glowing purple flame, but it seems to be moving. And it's actually moving towards you. And it's kind of zigzagging, taking its time. It doesn't seem to be making any efforts to be sneaky, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I'll quietly wake up Raphael and be like, hey, I'm not 100% sure what that is, but there's something out in the distance. Do you see what that is?
So do I see this purple flame?
It's maybe 2.5, 3 feet off the ground, and it's purple. It emits purple light. Not as much as your light spell, just like a candle. Basically.
Just yeah, light.
Do I have any idea what this could be without getting closer?
Yeah.
Give me an investigation check, I guess.
Can I do the same as I am also quite
Yeah.
curious?
You guys can check it out together.
Ooh,
12.
Oh, okay.
6.
6. All right. You can tell by its behavior that it doesn't seem hostile, and you would guess that it also probably hasn't noticed you yet. But you can't tell what it is. It doesn't have wings, and you're basically just seeing the glow that it's emitting. You're not
Almost
necessarily
like just a
seeing.
little anglerfish's light and just the light.
Monberry.
Yeah, there you go.
Hopefully not.
I took Sentinel, by the way.
Okay, and that's the one where if anyone tries to run away from you and you hit them with an attack, they can't move anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if they attack somebody within 5 feet of me, I can make an attack against them.
Or you use your reaction.
Reaction. Interesting.
And it also gives me 4 reactions, just so you know.
Ding!
No.
Oh, okay. Hold up.
But if
John,
if you're giving 4 reactions, Beauregard and critical roll.
Oh my god,
Crazy stuff.
I want to make the ones we don't have go away, and I want to put this shit back in alphabetical order.
See where it lists?
Alphabetical order.
Click that. No, click it again. Look at the list.
Alphabetical list. I like it. Thank you. Sorry, I don't want to look at all this shit I don't have.
It's understandable.
But you guys, this thing kind of gets closer, and then suddenly it gets, maybe it's like 30 feet away from you guys at this point, and whatever it is sticks its head up and it sees you, and it's kind of weird looking. It looks like a mastiff, entirely covered in purple flames. And it sees you guys and it starts barking madly like
I want it.
Yo.
Okay.
Am I asleep still?
So sorry. Did it wake any of these two up?
the sleepers can make perception checks
I mean, if not, I was just gonna wake him up.
because barking. Yes, we'll go with it. It's not trying to be stealthy. So.
23.
I would say I'm
Yeah, 17.
You guys both wake up like we didn't bring a dog, we brought a cat. You know, you kind of wake up a little bit. And it's doing that thing where it's like spreading out its front paws a little bit and it's bringing its head down and it's barking like mad.
Oh, right.
Is anyone good with dogs?
I'm good with dogs.
I'm horrible
Does
with
it
them.
look angry?
I think it's,
No, it doesn't really look aggressive, but it is loud.
I think it's trying to
Hold the
alert
jerky
someone
up
that we're
from our
near.
action.
Okay. Make me an animal handling check.
Does the jerky give me advantage?
God.
It's dark and you're an unknown, so I'm gonna say it balances out.
17.
17. Okay. And kind of like steps a little closer, steps a little closer, and catches the scent and goes.
I hold my wrist out so he sniff my wrist.
He like looks at the jerky, looks at you, and then kind of like looks around the rest of the party. He will lunge for the jerky, miss, and then and runs off into the trees.
We have to go after it.
Why?
It's a blue flame dog? How rad is that? I will chase after it if nobody else goes over there.
You notice that
sorry,
it was
cat.
you that mostly
Oh, I forgot.
kind of set it off. Because
Which-
it's never seen a fuzzy bigger than it. You would get is what you're thinking.
Alright.
So-
That's understandable.
I'm very purposely not. But this, you can see the light kind of moving back and forth. It doesn't seem to be moving in like a straight line, like it's terrified and running away. It's just like ran away, got distracted. Run over here, check this out.
Like
got
you
distracted.
distracted my daughter.
And it's just moving off. Now, town is pretty much south of you guys from where you're at. This thing seems to be heading southwest, more westerish, if that makes any sense. What are you gonna do?
Well, I don't.
He said it.
I'm gonna chase after it.
Well, I don't wear armor, so I don't have to worry about it. So I will begin rolling up my bedroll.
Yeah. I guess.
Okay. So you make haste, chase after it. It is running pretty fast. Hounds have a decent land speed. I think their movement is 40, something like that. So once it catches on that you're chasing after it, though, it gets startled and it's gonna run even faster. It's gonna do double movement as far away as it can. So you've got the choice to continue chasing after it, potentially leaving your party members behind, or regrouping and tracking. What do you want to do?
Let me regroup, and I'm gonna leave some rations out,
Okay.
and then head back to the camp.
Make a perception check for me on your way back to camp.
23.
Plenty high enough. About 1.5 feet off the ground, it looks like somebody busted open a glow stick on one of the trees.
You failed.
But it seemed to be traveling alone. You don't see any other forms of light out in the distance or anything like that. So, what's your guys' plan?
I guess since we're already awake and starting to pack up, we're gonna go ahead and try and see what's up with it. Since, do we have any idea why it has a purple flames around it? Like what?
Yeah, you can make an Arcana check. I think that would be appropriate.
Totally fuzzy.
You've heard of dogs with flames on them before, but hellhounds.
Mm-hmm.
and it's usually a red flame, and they're usually pretty evil, or definitely on the dark side. This just seemed like maybe it's an enchanted animal because it acted and looked like a regular
Dog.
mastiff,
Mhm.
but it was lit.
It's lit.
It's lit. Good job. At this point, it's probably around 2 o'clock in the morning. It is raining and dark. Quill has dark vision. Nice. You guys make light sources?
We would, or at least I would. I do have a light. So.
Okay.
If I need to, I will, but
Just a one light source is probably sufficient for now.
I'll just kind of sleepily follow along with these people.
Okay.
The glowing dog is kind of interesting, but I'm kind of sleepy. Been
Yeah.
walking all day,
I wanna go
so
back.
I'm kind of like I'm definitely interested, but I'm definitely also that sleepy person. Who's
Put
like,
a-
what?
I haven't had my Starbucks.
I put food out, so I guess we can bed down for the rest of the night and see if it comes back. But it probably belongs to somebody important if it's, because it looks like pretty, the spell that would require to do that, I think would be pretty intense. And so maybe,
But to make it glow, not really. Like neophyte wizards usually learn that pretty early on.
Yeah, if it was like under
I was gonna say, hold up, I wanna contribute to this conversation too, but I can't, cause I'm the DM, so even the barbarian can't tell them either. It's between the samurai and the wizard.
The sorcerer. You don't have any wizards either.
But you've never seen anything completely wreathed in flames like that. Actually, the last thing that would probably even come close to that is the fox demon. Had flames on it, but that one was clearly of a different breed.
Akiko is also still convinced that Fox was the good guy in that story. Probably.
Few little rumors. Who minds? Alright. So what are you guys gonna do? Are you gonna make the camp? Or are you going to continue tracking it?
yeah, let's make the camp.
Okay.
Quill would like
Are you
to
sure?
better.
You could track it if you want to.
I'm
Does
sorry.
it take a swig of water? Yeah, that's fine. I'm just kidding.
Anyways, probably already gone. Right now, the rain would wash the tracks away.
Alright. Hold on, just hold on a second. Put my stuff down in a relatively dry spot. Put down my Tetsubo. Sit down. Begin kind of meditating. Crack my neck.
She's falling back to sleep.
Relax for about 10 minutes and then stop. You're like, you out there? Because I ritually cast Speak with Animals. See if I can.
Okay. So when you ritually cast the speak with animals and you holler, "Are you out there?" What you get is a lot of shh, it's sleep time, shh, dark, shh, hush.
Oh, yeah, a lot of the animals don't like it when you yell at them in the middle of the night. Very nice.
An owl kind of like comes out of the trees, kind of like does the.
Hey, have you seen a glowing dog?
I've seen it glowing.
Where?
That way. And does like the weird neck thing.
Could you show me where it's at?
Could you feed me?
Yeah, he's got rations. You got some rations, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of like takes it in its like claw and it just like. Starts
The owl says that it saw something in that.
Okay.
We're gonna follow it.
No wrong.
And the owl will hop from branch to branch, kind of muttering to itself about slow people, legs. There's a kind of like hops, 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 and you can hear some squeaking that you hear because it sounds like voices talking. For these guys, the sound is kind of covered up by the rain, but you hear a shh, hide from around your feet. You would guess that there's probably some mice down there that are a little bit nervous. But how long does the spell last? 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Okay. So it will.
Not much of a payoff. It takes 10 minutes to cast and it lasts for 10 minutes. So it's like,
What's a whale?
But sorry. And you guys follow the owl and it hops along. Eventually, at some point, it kind of like looks back, and then kind of like hops along further, and then looks back, and kind of hops along further, and then it takes off over the trees, and you can't hear it anymore.
oh,
Alright, do we see any sign of the glowing dog?
Want to make a survival check? Anybody who's looking for proof of life.
Oh, I'm actually rolling
I'm
low,
still looking up in the trees trying to figure out where the owl
which is good because my wisdom is low. I total of 20.
Total of 20, okay?
8.
Did you roll? Okay. You don't see any paw prints or anything like that in the mud, but you do spot up ahead, basically the woods kind of dip down into a bit of a ravine, and there's a fern that looks like it has also been liberally sprayed with glow fluid. Akiko, give me an intelligence check.
Oh, jeez.
It's gonna walk.
11.
11. You think the owl might have forgotten that it was helping you guys?
He got us this far. That's good enough. Guys, the owl gave up and has left, so we're kind of on our own.
Well, it looks like it went that way at least, and I point to the bush with the radioactive urine on it.
Oh.
Ooh. That is doing alright.
I guess we'll head that direction
I'm trying to
and keep track of it as
there,
long
yeah.
as my survival check will last
Okay.
for that.
When you guys move past that, you see there's basically like a hollow down underneath. Basically, a tree had fallen over, and there's basically the dip in the earth where where the root wad was. Try
Wow,
saying
nice.
that 10 times fast. And you see like a bit of a purple glow coming out of there. How are you guys going to approach?
Since it's interacting with me before, maybe I should go first. This already got my snap. And I guess.
So I don't think it's gonna like me. I'll wait over here.
Definitely want to go test the waters, so to speak.
So I'll take another ration out my last ration. And kind of hold it before me. Kind of wave it back and forth, try to build up like some type of air scent deal.
Okay, kind of like waft it.
Yeah.
From where it's sleeping, it is curled up and it's in the ball pose, but the head is upside down.
Yeah.
And it just like, and the jaws kind of flap because they're flopped open at this point, and it just like it rolls over into a standing position. Just kind of like licks its chops, looks around, bends down, licks its butt, comes back up, and spots you.
Hey, remember these?
It's a little excited. Well, if it had a tail,
Yeah.
it would be wagging. But it's got a stump butt.
It's wagging his whole ass.
Yep, the whole back end of it is mobilized.
Corgi style.
Yeah, fluffer butt.
I'm gonna start ritually casting Speak with Animals.
Okay. Alright,
Just in case.
so
Keep it busy for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
for 10 minutes. Alright.
Got a big task at hand.
So the hound kind of approaches you and it sits and just kind of stares at you and kind of like licks its lips.
I hold it out and I put it down on the ground and kind of take a couple steps back.
It will chomp up and eat the meat. It's dry and it's a little salty, so there's a lot of drooling going on. But let's see. Its flames are like you're standing right next to it, and if you were close to a real flame, this would be the uncomfortable, I need to move back phase of heat. But you don't feel any heat coming off of it. And if you, what are you going to do with the dog?
As it's eating, I want to slowly reach out and try and scratch its neck.
Okay. It kind of like, and then goes back to chomping on the thing. But you touch it and it's cold. It's like touching a rock.
Oh.
It's disconcerting because it should have flesh, it should have fur, it should be soft, or it should be hot, it should be flamey, and it's neither of those things. So your brain takes a second to like recalibrating.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little confusing for you. But the dog doesn't seem to mind the pets, and it will just kind of sits there.
Is there any type of like collar or any type of marking for its master?
It has a collar on, but it's not. It doesn't have like a tag or anything like that. It looks like it's made of the same color as the skin and the flesh, but it's all runes. It's all carved runes in the collar, and they kind of light up a little bit like a certain ring being tossed into a certain fire would look.
Okay.
I don't know how copyrights work. I don't know if I can say the name.
You look at rings? I think it's a
Yeah.
If they come after you, well,
We only have to worry if we're trying to monetize this.
That's true. I'm not trying to monetize it.
No.
So
But the dog kind of like looks at you expectantly, and then it just kind of flops,
I'll just sit next to it.
rolls.
I think it's
over
okay,
its back.
guys. I think we're good. Switch it.
I'm still flexing.
You're the one who's really scared.
I guess if I walk up a bit, looking around, does it look like it's slept here long, or is this just where it's sleeping right now?
There's a couple of stray hairs that are still glowing that are underneath the root wad, but it doesn't look like this is a den. You know, there isn't anything dragged into it to, be comfort. It doesn't go deep enough to be protected against predators and things like that. So it doesn't look like a permanent house for this thing.
Okay.
Partially because the root wad is filled with water in parts of it, so you're not sure how long this tree has been felled, but.
Alright, I was trying to keep it busy while Akiko is flexing.
Okay.
Legs crossed. Crisscross applesauce.
Crisscross applesauce.
Straight up flex.
Get the little
Yeah.
vein on your forehead. Okay.
Yeah, she's ready.
So
That's my concentrating pose. Yeah.
the spell comes to completion, and you can kind of tell because you're starting to hear like the little animal whispers, little bugs rolling around in the dirt. And the dog just like laying there like, oh yeah, as Chud is basically rubbing his belly a little.
So, I ask him, where are you from?
Smells good, has food, beer.
Do you have a owner?
Small and green. Yeah.
Small.
Yeah, small and green. Squishes.
Okay. Do you know where that is?
Squishes?
Alright. We're not going to get very far. It has an owner that's small and green, lives someplace that smells good, it's got beer, and it's warm.
Like a tavern.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got. And
Does he know what his name is?
yeah, what's your name?
Max! And he gets up and he stands up and he kind of shakes himself off. And he says, lizards! 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 It's like stands there, and for you guys it just sounds like he's barking at Akiko, but he's very clearly excited.
Its name is Max, and there's something about lizards. Like tiny crawling ones?
And he kind of like jumps up and says, big lizards! Big lizards! He's very excited.
Are there big lizards nearby? Is your owner a lizard? I don't think I understand.
Me neither. No, not. Owner is small and green. Has
Small and
scritches.
green. Has scritches.
Lizards are big and green.
Lizards are big and green.
Best.
Apparently the lizards are the best. I don't understand. It's, you know how hard it is to talk to somebody that's just not really bright?
Hey! 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 Bark. This one's like this one. He goes over and like leans against you. And if you weren't like a big strong warrior, you'd probably fall over because it's not a small dog.
I'm pretty sure I might be misunderstanding what he's saying, but he says that he would like to eat your leg. He thinks your leg smells really awesome and tasty.
Max, look. No, my leg.
Kind of like looks, licks your hand, like, yeah, I'll take a snack.
See, he thinks
Snacks?
you're tasty.
Oh God.
Scratches? Kind of like leans into you.
Whatever
Thumps.
you do,
Thumps!
you might want to give it some scritches. Maybe some pets.
You guys are just hearing like,
Be as subservient as you can be.
Yeah. Can anybody read these runes that are on the this collar?
Are they in actual language?
give me an Arcana check.
If you can't figure it out, Raphael, I guess I'll come over there, but I'm still keeping my distance.
I will also let you know.
You know, I'm not trained in Arcana, and I'm not an intelligent character.
Nothing to do with the dwarf.
11. Okay. Does anyone here? Well, what languages do you guys speak? You're looking at the collar, so we'll start with you because you speak all of them.
Not all. Celestial, Elf, Dwarf, Venetian, Draconic. As well as Common.
And then Tabaxi, Elvish, Deep Speech, Undercommon, and Draconic.
Just common.
Giant.
Okay. So none of you really know. You don't know what it says. And let's see. People-wise, Quill, you would actually be the one to be able to recognize the language itself. It's kind of like I can't read kanji and I can't read like the Russian language, but I know that what those two alphabets look like. They're two very different alphabets. You can't read them, but you recognize
the
them.
script. Yeah.
This is written in Gnomish.
Okay.
There's some symbols that you don't recognize, so you would guess maybe it's old Gnomish. And for you, that kind of makes sense because you know that the gnomes are into doing weird stuff, weird magic. You know,
They're kind of kinky.
they're kind of kinky. But in this particular case, it's like, of course, this isn't something that's necessarily been seen before. A standard unknown did it.
Yeah.
I'm curious. So the collar doesn't have a tag on it or anything. Does the collar come off?
It doesn't appear to. No, it's one. If you pull on the collar, it actually appears to be part of the purple flesh. It's not a separate entity. It's just in the place that a collar would be, and it goes all the way around.
Guys, I don't think this is a normal dog.
No, the writing looks pretty gnomish. Did you say his owner was small? Yeah,
And green.
I don't know about the green part, but the small part makes sense.
Well, I mean, they could be wearing green. It could be their color of choice for clothes.
Dogs are colorblind. So we might say green, but it could be anything.
Well, also, this is not a regular dog,
That's
apparently. I mean,
Apparently.
I
Has
just-
a collar
I just
growing out of its
assume-
neck.
What constitutes a regular dog to you?
Well, one that doesn't have purple.
Well, if it was
Like an Ant-Man with a giant ant runs past the guy's like, whoa, that's a freaky dog! It's an ant.
for all we know, this could have been a rock that the gnome brought to life as a dog and made on
Well,
fire.
I don't think it's a giant bird-like creature.
I was waiting.
Yeah.
If anyone at this table was gonna do it, it's gonna be Ian.
That's when I realized the dog was 50 foot long. Giant wings.
It's like, oh, I was picturing this all wrong.
So its owner sounds like it might be a gnome of some kind.
Maybe back in town.
We didn't come across any prominent gnomes in the town, did we? Like any barkeep? Our barkeep wasn't a gnome or anything like that?
The barkeep was definitely
Halfling.
a dwarf.
No, you're right.
What would it be? It would be probably just a wisdom check to see if you can remember?
Intelligent.
Intelligence check? Okay. Now, are you speculating out loud asking your party members, or are you just kind of wandering to
I would
yourself?
say I would say that out loud.
So anybody who feels so inclined may either give advantage or roll an intelligence check.
Decent intelligence.
10.
10.
And 11.
15.
2.
2. Okay, well if you got above a 10,
Oh, but I didn't get above a 10.
you got
I got a 10.
But it's fine. There was when you guys got to the inn the first night, at least the first night for these guys on the Cinder Field.
Yeah.
There was a bard.
Or say like, what the hell was that?
Oh, the gnome bard. I knew there was a gnome at some point.
And you said you got a 12?
An 11.
An 11.
You had 15.
15.
Yeah.
You remember that the gnome had green hair. And traveling companions.
Could you, is a spell?
I don't know. Has it been 10 minutes?
I'd say you guys are probably 5 minutes into it. I mean, you've asked some
Yeah.
questions, but you're talking amongst yourself.
If it's a traveling bard and the dog's out here alone, maybe something happened to him.
Well, how about this? Alright. How well trained are you? Can you track?
Sit, track. And
Track
he
your
spins
master.
around in circles and chases his lump of a tail. Yes, it does.
Can you track your master?
He's really excited. Looks at you.
Go!
Track! Starts spinning in circles, chasing his tail. Track! He's kind of like boofing, boof, chasing after its tail.
Well,
I don't think we want this dog.
we could try going back to town and seeing if they're at the tavern still. You said that it came from a place that smelled good in beer. That could be tavern.
Yeah, that sounds like a tavern. Could you tell the Max here to go back to the
I
tavern?
am so sorry. I don't know what the Hummers are doing. I'm turning them down. Stop looking at them.
Guys, I think there's monks somewhere in this way.
We're secretly being surrounded by
Still
elves.
learning the soundtrack.
The dog was a distraction.
Yeah.
Make a perception check.
Oh.
It's a joke roll.
I was like, wait, really?
No.
Just in case.
Yeah.
What did you get for your perception though?
5.
5. Okay. You haven't been around like a ton of animals, but this seems like a pretty happy animal.
Yeah.
You're pretty sure.
That's good though. Let's just go back to bed and figure this. Go to town tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tell
Yes,
him
we can count.
He gets like he perks up and he just bed. Kind of flops down back into a hole. Bed. Spins around 3 times. Flops. Looks at you guys like, who's going?
I guess we'll just camp here.
Yeah.
I mean, may as well not travel anymore. Just figure out. Sleep the rest of the night
Throw
through.
him out in my bedroll.
Yeah.
Spin around 3 times. Cover up to sleep.
Your spell is faded by this point, but you can tell the dog heavily approves. It just curls up in its ball, flops the head. It's pretty cute, honestly. It's like probably 200-pound mastiff. Just
With purple flames.
purple flames.
Wow.
You guys won't need a light source anymore, though. Around you.
Until he runs off at the sight of anything.
It's a possibility. So, are you guys gonna switch up the watch? Are you gonna continue with what it was?
Let's just continue.
Yeah.
Which makes it your watch? No, shit, it's my watch.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Alright, give me a perception check. Try to roll like here, give me your dice, give me your dice. Give me your dice. Do it!
19.
Ah, I helped. Maybe like 2 hours after everyone has gone back to sleep for the second time, there's some purring, there's some mumbling, there's some snoring, there's a lot of drool on a couple of people's parts. Don't look at Chud like that. He's a dignified samurai.
And the heavy sleeper.
And you hear a sound in the distance, and it sounds a long ways off, like an echo. And they say like you're hearing something echoing, probably off of even the rocky cliff face that are, are probably maybe a mile away or so. But it's a death scream of you think it's probably a deer, like that really high pitched, like tragic sound that a deer or an elk makes when it's filled.
Which direction?
Pretty much directly east of you. So it'd be towards the mountains.
So, not towards town.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make a... a wisdom check to see if I can judge how far away it was?
Um.
I mean, I
Give
wouldn't
me
want
a-
to say survival perception.
Yeah, I think either survival or nature. Because you would have to know how loud this animal was in the first place to be able to judge that kind of thing.
I will go with survival.
Okay.
5.
5. Must have been close enough if you could hear it.
I'm sorry. 3.
Close enough because you could hear it, but it's sound, so it travels. You go back to flex. You're doing the Terry Titty dance. It's pretty impressive.
Considering I have a rack to go with it.
It's an impressive dance. Don't mind me as I check out my husband's
It's like
imaginary moves.
some video game physics here.
Yeah. Like you breathe and it's like a ripple of the ocean.
I remember Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive, yeah.
Yeah.
The very first one, it actually had a bar in the options for how much they bounced.
I remember that.
Wow.
Like, you could change
They would
that.
basically just go forever.
Yeah.
Anti-gravity blind
Yeah.
eye status?
Yeah. It was just terrible.
Like, it's still one of the chestiest fighting games around, but they got rid of the option in the menu to change how much they...
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
Alright. I'll take mental note of it. Honestly, it's probably wolves or something hunting. At least that's where my brain is going. But when I wake him up, I'll be like, hey, something killed a deer off in that direction.
I'll keep watch for it and hope it doesn't come for us. Should be fed, though.
Yeah,
Right?
hopefully it ate.
Yeah.
When you say deer, Max rolls over and goes, deer. And he paws
Yeah, you can't speak.
Well, he rolls over and starts kicking his feet.
All right.
I'll go over and go back to sleep, finally.
Mm-hmm. I don't see shit. That'll be a 4.
Okay. You're kind of distracted by the fact that there's a glowing dog cuddled up with your companions. But you don't hear anything out of the norm. You hear some chipmunks at some point. It sounds like somebody's having like a domestic. Chipmunks screeching at each other. And then it quiets down. It might just be the owl. But do that. Sun rises, and the dog wakes up, and he wanders over and he takes a peek. It doesn't glow as brightly in the sunlight.
That's nice. Oh, time to get back.
Back to town, I guess.
Yeah.
Unless I'm doing this better idea.
Well, I don't know. Start doing my hour routine of calisthenics.
Okay.
Mhm.
Dog gets pretty excited about this. Max, he kind of like circles you, kind of watching, sits down, cocks his head to the side, doesn't really get it. Goes over to Chud, tries to get some more food out of him. Watches you some more. When you do like the up dog and the down dog, he'll come and do those with you.
He knows this one.
Lay down and sit, and down and track, and he chases his tail.
All right, ready? Suppose so.
Max.
Finally, locally.
Max, look, we're going to town. Follow us, stay with us, and it'll be okay.
He like sits and tries to shake.
Shake his hand, give scratches, and be like, start slowly walking away like this way.
He'll come over and he'll just kind of like bump you along like on your hip with his shoulder, and it's kind of like he runs around, but he stays in the general area.
I think we're okay.
I guess we're traveling with the glowing cock now. All right.
We're traveling with a cat that talked.
Are Tabaxi folk uncommon for you? I mean,
You're the first one I've ever seen.
there's a lot of.
I imagine where you come from, there are a lot of you.
In Akiko's defense, where she's from, the people that are mixed with animals are mixed with foxes, not cats.
Fair enough.
She's seen ladies walking around with 9 tails hanging out, but one with a beard and 1 tail?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright. That's interesting.
But you guys continue your travels back towards town, and the Max kind of like runs off into the bushes, and then he runs back. Sometimes he brings you a stick. He seems to really like Chud. He'll take Chud's stick, throw the stick, he'll come back, bring you the stick. Sometimes it's a different stick, but he means well, bless his heart. And about halfway through the day, you guys see another group of people traveling towards you. So at this point, you're half a day's travel from town. But these people approach you and give me perception checks. They're fairly far away at this point. It's raining.
Oh, I was so close to the 20. I was moving back over to the 20. 6.
10.
Ouch.
2.
14.
All right. You see some people are coming. There are 3 regular-sized folks and 1 small folk. Good. You guys get closer and closer. The small one at the beginning of the group will actually start running towards you guys, and there's this moment where you realize that Max recognizes whoever the small person is, because his whole body tenses up, and he starts barking like mad, bark, 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 bark,
Yeah.
and then he shoots off like a shot into the trees. And of the 3 people that are behind it, you see one of them seemingly disappears, and then the other 2 take off into the trees, and the small person also goes off into the brush as well.
What the hell just happened?
Like, did the small person have green hair?
Hard to tell from this distance, but because hood's up and everything like that. But it was definitely 1 small person and 3 big peoples. The small person did not move with the gait that a child would, though. The kind of, I'm not sure what balance is.
And then, I'm not really good with animals, but that was very, like, get away from me, run away,
Yeah.
right?
You can still hear him barking as he takes off into the trees.
I'll yell out for him, Max, Max, Max.
Bark, 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 bark.
Did they leave behind a carriage, or were they
No,
just
they were
walking?
just walking.
So one of them vanished,
Mhm.
and then the other 3 took off towards the trees.
Yes.
Well,
Sounds like bandits.
Oh, they're after the dog. Like, one way or another.
well, if nothing else, I'm curious as to what's going on.
It's,
I'm pretty confused. So yeah, I think the dog.
try and follow and at least get answers.
Chase after them.
Let's take off running.
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
go.
So you guys take off into the trees, and you're chasing them. you're guessing probably for about 5 minutes. You can still hear like the echo of the sound of the barks. You don't see any of the other people. Like you know they were there on the road. You know they took off after the dog, but you don't see them here in the woods. And then from up ahead, it sounds like you're getting like closer. The tone of the barks has changed. It's no longer I'm excited and I'm running, bark, 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 bark. Now it is I'm hurt and I'm scared, and then the barks cut off immediately. There's dead silence. And it's maybe 30 yards ahead of you guys. I think you hear the last of the barking come from. There's a high-pitched yelp and then...
Keep dashing.
Okay.
Drop my
Yeah.
sword.
So... Alright. So Akiko and Chud, you guys are in the lead, sounds like. So you come up.
Well, we all have the same movement speed. So.
Okay.
I think
You get to about here, and you don't see the dog at all. You do see lingering traces of purple, basically dribbled in throughout this entire area here, but the whole black ring there and the area around it is just dead. Like, the tree branches are dead, the grass is wilted. It looks like every nutrient has been sucked out of the area in this place. And it seems to be centered on this spot.
Can I make some kind of check to see if we go in there or if we'll die too?
Give me a nature check.
that'd be
I
Arcana.
also want to make a perception
Arcana?
check to see if anything is.
Whichever one you want to use, because nature, because it is nature, but Arcana because it is technically magical.
Well, I get a +4 to either, so what is that, 16? I got a total of 20 for. I guess we'll do nature.
You're pretty good at basic math. If there is a dead space and you enter it, you're gonna feel it. Now, people are generally sturdier and more have more defenses against attacks like this than plants do, but it's still you don't know what it is. You haven't seen this before.
It might be kind of obvious, guys, but I don't think we should enter that circle of dead stuff.
Do I see? Is there a tree next to me that is healthy?
Yes, the trees that are standing around there are actually healthy trees.
I want to go up to one.
Okay.
Find a relatively easy branch to break off, and I want to throw it into the ring.
Give me a perception check as you approach the tree.
10.
Okay, so if you go to reach for one of the branches, the branch reaches back, and it will basically slap at you and attempt to grab your arm.
Okay.
And I'm going to need you guys to roll.
Oh.
Where do I get to that?
Where did he go?
I got a total of 17.
Nice.
Quill.
I got 18.
Chad.
3.
Oh.
And how many initiatives do you need for 8?
I will need 3 initiatives, please.
Okay.
John, how do I get back to an encounter that I already saved?
Oh, that's easy.
I
So,
went to monsters and I went to summary.
2.
What'd you roll?
I got a 19 altogether.
Oh, okay.
Dang,
I rolled
you're the
6.
only one that did you roll one.
I got a 16 with a +3, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a 14 with a +4.
Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna make an attack. Oh, natural 1 for a total of 7. So the branch kind of gropes out at you, and it's a very sharp, stabby-looking branch. For one, it's got spikes on it. That's not something you're used to seeing. Don't you would be so kind as to put that in your hand.
So is that what attacked me?
Yes, that is what attacked.
Okay. And then we're just waiting on your initiatives when you're ready.
Okay, so I've got Number 3 will be 18.
Okay.
Vine will be an 8. And other will be a 10.
A 10.
Yes.
Alright, so Raphael is actually up first with his 19. So it's in melee with me, right?
Yes, it is.
I am going to Shocking Grasp.
Okay.
So that'll be a 22 to hit.
That's definitely a hit.
It takes 3 points of lightning damage, and it can't use reactions until. Oh. Well, I'd have to look when the spell says. Probably like the end of my next turn or end of its turn.
Okay.
And I am going to move back behind the rest of the group.
Alright. Makes sense.
Does it get an attack? Oh,
No,
does it get reaction?
Yeah,
Right.
Till the start of its next turn.
Yeah, so until the start of its next turn.
And if it's made of metal, you get advantage on the attack. Which makes sense.
So, I got shocked, and I shocked it back in return, and made
Step
my
away.
way behind the rest of the party. Now we have Quill and Bad Guy 3 simultaneously with our 18.
I have a +4.
Go for it.
I'm going to scoot over just a little here so I can actually see that thing. We'll go for an Eldritch Blast
Just
at
to
him.
clarify, is it attached to the tree, or is it like separate?
And it looks like it's basically the bark that's on this tree is extended out as part of this vine. So either it's camouflaged to the point where you can't see where it ends and the tree begins,
Yeah.
or it is the tree. Not quite sure. You have to get closer to this.
12 to hit.
12 to hit. That is a miss.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Well,
You're pretty close.
It's for Quill.
Alright, and so that's number 3.
Number 3. Okay. In the distance, probably not very far. You'd say probably 100 yards from you guys. You hear howl, a really long, low howl. And that's it.
Okay. Akiko.
Not completely certain as to what's going on with the tree. I will bonus action rage.
Okay.
So eyes go green,
You didn't get your nap last night. You're really freaking mad about it.
and I will run up and I will recklessly, Great Weapon Master, attack the vine/tree.
Okay. Go for it.
Alright, so does a 14 hit.
A 14 will hit.
Seven.
27 points of damage,
Dang.
4 of which is necrotic.
Okay. 27, 30 points total. Okay. It turns green in that one part, and you realize most of this is actually kind of a brownish bark color. And it does the effect that you're used to seeing, that kind of green encasement, and then it cracks. But it doesn't seem to take any more or less damage than obviously having just been whacked at. There is a deep chunk missing out of it with little spike spots on it from where you just cleaved into this thing and removed a large chunk of it.
But it's still alive.
It is still wiggling, and now it seems angry.
Alright. We are both angry.
Alright. So now it is other. What you told me was other with a 10.
Okay. Let's see. You guys hear a kind of rumbling sound, and the earth moves a little bit beneath your feet. Just slightly. And then it stops. Who's next?
Next is the vine.
The vine? Okay. The vine is going to lash out at Akiko.
Hey, bro.
She is close enough to do so. You are not reckless, so it doesn't get...
It did.
I did.
You did reckless?
Yeah.
Alright, so a 24 to hit.
Hit.
For 11 points of damage, and I need you to make a DC 14.
We don't have to turn this.
Okay, sorry. Make a it doesn't say what kind of check it is. It says it is grappled. So go ahead, opposed grapple.
So it'll be athletics or acrobatics, depending
Does
on.
it say that the attacker or the
It says,
target
and
is
it is
grappled?
grappled, escape DC 14. Until the grapple ends, it doesn't say.
Okay, so
Oh,
there's
so
no
it's
opposed, it
auto
just
grapple.
automatically grapples me.
Oh,
if it
okay.
hits.
Yeah.
In order to escape next round, I have to
Yeah.
roll the escape attack. Whether that would be athletics or acrobatics would depend on what I decide to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would be its turn.
Alright, Chud.
Alright, so I will see no other enemies. I will make my way towards Akiko. 30 on the other side. Attempt to swing at the branch or vine. Plus 18.
An 18 will hit, yes.
That's not prepared.
Me neither.
After Chud, it will be initiative for those of you who want to get a head start.
For 11 damage.
11 points of damage, alright. Bringing 41 total. And it doesn't scream, but when you whack into it, the tip of it kind of flails about, like when you chop a worm in half. There's a lot of spitting and writhing, but it's still moving.
Alright, so initiative.
10.
Okay. Alright, Vine.
A 7,
Other.
17,
And third thing.
will be a 12.
Alright, so the other is first.
Okay. The ground rumbles again, and you guys see out of the center there, some tendrils start coming up out of the center of the mass there.
Here?
Yes.
Alright.
It's creepy ass Jumanji.
If that is done, then it is Raphael's turn with the 15.
You're looking at me expecting, like, no, it's not me. I have enough people to keep track.
So I'm just gonna move so I can get line of sight on the vine, and I'm gonna try and firebolt it.
Okay.
Which I will miss because that's a natural 1. Okay. So it's Quill and the third thing simultaneously.
Okay. So, so you have a +4. You go first. You're a player.
I assume we see the giant plant thing come out of the ground. And,
Yes.
Right there.
And the way that it comes out of the ground is it's not a bud that comes up gently. These vines burst out of the ground like giant spider legs and then stomp down back into the dirt, and it seems to rise up out of the dirt.
Itself out.
Yeah, I was gonna say like if someone was climbing out, just to. I think I'm gonna just yell at everyone to kind of make sure they know. Guys, there's something coming out of the ring, and it don't look right. And I think I'm gonna go for a Eldritch Blast on that.
Okay.
I think it's scary. Ooh, that's a 10 to hit.
That is going to miss, unfortunately.
Alright.
Am I restrained?
You are grappled
Just making sure.
because it says, and it is grappled. Until the grapple ends, the target is okay, hang on. Until this grapple ends, the target is restrained.
Okay.
There's an and, but that's a surprise. Who is okay? So I was Simon with him.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of you would be so kind. So right about there, place this wolf. It's a large, shaggy white wolf with very, very piercing green eyes, and it basically comes running out this direction, and it kind of sees the situation. It kind of stops, and it sits, and it lets loose another howl.
Okay. And that's it.
And that's its turn.
Alright, that brings us to Chud.
I'll attack again
Okay.
On the vine.
On the vine.
23
23.
will hit, definitely. I don't know why I had to think about that.
9 damage.
9 slashing damage.
Slash.
So you scrape at it, and it's kind of like peeling a potato. You take off just this sheet of bark and flesh, and there's just this exposed, pale green, now oozing bit there.
Oh, gross. Oh.
Who is next?
Next, it is Akiko.
Alright, so I am restrained, so I am going to have to use my action to break free or attack with disadvantage. So I am going to simply try to attack with disadvantage, but I'm going to reckless, which will give me advantage, so it'll be a straight red.
Yep.
Okay.
Touch him.
I will not Great Weapon Master this one though.
Because
I should have.
Is that the
you take the negative on your
attack
hit.
for a bonus
Yeah.
damage?
Yep.
Plus 10 damage.
So
I mean, you get a ranged one.
a
Yeah, it's like sharpshooter or something.
23.
It's definitely a hit. I don't know where the...
16 plus 8 is 24.
24 points of damage?
bludgeoning damage.
Dang, son. So, you basically shove your tentacle up between you and the vine, and you pry it outwards, and it just scrapes off chunks of this tree bark like flesh as it pulls away from you. So you are still grappled, but now it's missing parts of it.
Okay.
Do you want to make an attempt to get out of the grapple?
No, I used my action to
Attack, yeah.
Alright.
Alright.
Who is next?
It's the vine next.
It's the vine next?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Holding up the bottom of the initiative order.
I need you to make a constitution saving throw. As the parts of the vine that are still barked, take those spikes that were on it and it seems to like flex them and they pierce into your flesh.
20.
20. So you will take half damage. Damn. Okay. So 28, so half of 28 is 14. Do you take half because you're...
Yeah. So you take
Okay.
6.
7
Yeah.
points?
So
of
is
damage.
it like tries to spike me with these things? I just flex. They make my skin and muscle hard as stone, and just grip
Let
two
it
half.
You hear a brief from the vine.
Yep, and initiative after that.
Wow. That's it.
Nice. Alright, Akiko. 19. Quill.
Same as last time, 12.
Chad.
20.
Nice. Vine.
Vine will go on a 7.
Aubrey 2.
Thank you. 8.
And third.
Wolf Boy will go on 20.
Alright, so Raphael is actually first with a 21.
Nice.
Promise I'm not cheating, that's an 18. Alright. I am going to firebolt the vine again, so I want to get Akiko out of there.
Okay. I'm sure Akiko appreciates the sentiment.
14?
A 14 does hit the vine, yes.
Okay, cool.
Burn it!
Burn it!
It's deep. It takes 2 points of fire damage.
So your firebolt, and you're up close, so you see this. The firebolt impacts, and it lands on the exposed part that Chud had shaved off with his attack, and it burns for a brief moment, but it seems to fizzle out, and there's no char mark left, and it takes 1 point of damage.
That's resistant to fire. Okay. Okay. Good to know. Alright, so now it's Wolf and Chud simultaneously with their 20s.
I only have a +2.
Okay, the wolf is a plus brain. +2 as well, so you go ahead and go first.
I'll attempt to attack the vine one more time.
Stab it.
15
That will hit.
for 6 points of damage.
6 points. Okay. So 6 points of damage brings it to 8. Okay. So you basically shave off another part of it, and like the little tines kind of like stick up and seem to go stiff as soon as it's disassembled. Like this, once it's removed from the main flesh, they go stiff, and then it falls down onto the ground. The vine itself is really beat up, and it's really gross and green tentacly looking at this point, but it is still writhing and attempting to crush Akiko.
Trying.
Yeah, no, you guys are making a good effort.
Alright, it's Wolf.
Wolf. Alright, with a movement speed of 40, the wolf will give a wide berth to all of this and will come around this direction.
Is it gonna dash?
Yes.
So coming around to where?
Let's get as close as they can get to Chud, basically.
Right in this wolf's face.
Alright.
Alright, who is after Wolf?
After Wolf, it is Akiko.
Alright.
Or Akiko.
I'm going to go one more time.
Okay.
Reckless at this vine that's attacking me.
This motherfucker.
Still at disadvantage.
With
Reckless with advantage to straight.
Okay.
18 to hit.
That is a hit.
Eight, 16 more points of damage.
16.
Mhm.
So you wail on this thing, take it out, and you just go full Bam Bam on it. And it seems to decide, you know what? Maybe next time. And the vine will actually fall limp and just kind of floop. And it's a very heavy thudding sound as it basically uncoils around your feet.
Okay.
The vine appears defeated.
Alright, so you've got movement if you want.
Oh yeah.
Or another bonus action if you have anything you can do.
It died.
Bitch.
He touches it.
See, I don't know if the wolf is hostile or not.
Yeah.
From the clock.
If it's sprinted, it's coming pretty quick at us.
Yeah, but
it's
it could have been
hostile.
running to help.
Yeah. It's also like that.
Which we obviously can't have too much table talk about what we think it is.
Okay, I'm just going to move closer towards this.
Yeah.
Just on this side of
Just on this side of
the ring.
the ring.
Okay.
Alright. Quill, you're up next. And there's that giant wolf that just ran up next to you.
Does the wolf notice me right behind this tree next to him?
The wolf ran up and was growling. It doesn't seem to be growling at Chud or Akiko. It does look like it was set on the vine. And now its head is just kind of like looking at the next threat.
I'm going to take a little bit of a wide movement over towards Chud, because I definitely don't want to be by that thing myself. And we're going to shoot at weird plant thingy once more. Another Eldritch Blast. And this one's an 18 to hit.
That is a hit.
Finally. 10, 7 plus 4, 11 points of force damage.
Force damage?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. So one of the vines that's basically functioning as a leg to pull it out, it basically gets shot down to the side. But it seems to sprout two more in its place and continues to climber up out of the ground.
And speaking of, it is its turn.
Alright. Climbing up out of the ground, this thing, if you would switch these out, is this massive horde of vines and what look like animal bones, blood, and mud, all just kind of mixed together. And it's just this writhing, a massive horde of grossness.
Does it do anything else this turn, or does it just appear?
It basically climbing up out of that thing is going to be its action. So.
Okay. Do we have to worry about any vines anymore? It's their initiative if there is.
If it is the Vine's initiative, then we do need to worry about them. So, Luke, if you would be so kind as to set this down on the space right there. One of the branches just kind of leans down and slaps at the wolf that's down below. The wolf is got completely off guard. Hit. And the wolf will take 4 points, no, 6 points of wolf damage. And the wolf lets out a yelp that turns into a snarl at the end because it was caught by surprise, but it's badass, damn it.
And then once the vines are done, it will be initiative again.
Okay. Ooh.
Sorry, I wanted to see Nicole some pictures.
Right, Akiko.
11.
Quill.
18.
Chud.
19.
Oh.
Vine.
Vines will go on 16,
Aubrey.
9,
And Wolf.
11.
Right, Chud is first this time round.
Okay, so I will. So I'll move. I'll take a look at the wolf, see that it's occupied, and I'll rush into combat with the vine. I'll activate my samurai skill, so I get +5 temporary hit points.
Nice.
So if you ran into this circle, does that do anything?
Not yet.
So 19
19 hit is definitely a hit.
for 5 points of damage.
So you bring your blade down, anime style, and it splits apart where you hit it. But it almost immediately reforms into this like writhing mass of nastiness. You can't see where your hit landed anymore, but you hope that it's stuck.
Alright, if that's Chud's turn, it brings us to Quill.
I'm gonna assume I can see this vine that's attacking what?
Oh, the wolf, yeah.
Yeah, it's a wolf buddy. Though there's a weird creepy plant mass there too. I'm gonna contemplate helping the wolf, but I think the big plant mass is a bigger deal, so we're gonna shoot at him again. 13 to hit the giant plant.
The 13 will miss, unfortunately, so your shot goes wide.
No, I'm behind this tree and try not to mess everything up.
Alright. It is the vine's turn.
Okay. So the vine will reach out and attempt to attack the wolf again. So we'll hit the wolf. The wolf will take 11 points of damage.
It's grappled.
And the wolf is grappled, yes. So the vine snaps down, wraps around it, and one paw is basically caught up in it, and the rest of it's just around its torso, and the wolf just snarls at the damn thing.
Alright.
Who's that?
Any more vines or just
Just the
that?
one.
Okay. It's Raphael next. With the wolf and Akiko simultaneously next. I am just gonna see about firebolting this plant thing. I have a feeling it might be resistant to fire like the vines were, but I want to see.
It's always worth knowing.
That was almost a 19. 10 to hit, so that's gonna miss.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Actually, I will use one of my lucky points to reroll. 10 again.
That's always the worst. So your shots go wide and then you kind of bend it and it just goes wide on the other side. But you tried. So, and you said Wolf and Akiko are next?
Yes.
Okay, Akiko, go ahead.
I'm gonna let the wolf go first.
You are?
If that's okay.
So, let's see. I need perception checks from Raph and Quill.
Ooh. I got 5. 19.
Okay, you don't see anything.
Nope.
For
See it fine.
a very brief moment, let's set this out there. A cloaked figure appears on the backside of the worm. And it stabs into the flesh of the vine. Well, the meat of the vine. That dice is gone forever. This is why I have these let's see. That hits, and then we'll do 19 points of piercing damage to the vine there. So it's the first time that one's been hit. But this rogue appears basically out of nowhere, stabs into this thing, pulls its cloak forward like it's gonna hide again, looks at the wolf, and waits. And from off in this direction, actually, I need Chud, I need you to make Chud and Akiko, I need you to make perception check.
23. 10.
Okay. Alright, so you guys don't quite see where it comes from, but an arrow comes flying out of the brush and shoots into the giant plant piece. I'll hit 19. For 12 points of damage. Okay. So now that it is attacked, you can see off to the side over here, there is another figure with a longbow drawn and is fired at me. Yeah, I don't have a longbow that's taken in all green. But now that they've fired, they've exposed themselves from their hiding spot. And you can see this green dragonborn with a longbow. It's just clearly fired a shot at the big beast.
At the
plant.
The big giant one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are the people who came after the dog. I'm pretty sure the gnome or the small creature is the druid, and they're.
That's totally what I thought.
Yeah.
It's alright. Who is after Wolf's initiative?
Akiko.
So the wolf has allies, so I'm not going to worry about it for now. I am going to rush forward and recklessly great weapon master attack the big huge frickin' plant. Damn. There's a 13 hit.
A 13 does not hit, unfortunately.
And I will miss.
Alright. After that, it is the giant plant.
Okay. I need Constitution saving throws from both Chud and Akiko.
Ow. 8. 20.
Okay. So, go back. Alright. So, you've entered this arena, basically this area around this creature, this dead zone, if you will. And a wave of nausea hits both of you, but it really seems to get to Akiko. And you will have a disadvantage on, you basically are poisoned for the next round. You will disadvantage on your attack rolls and your ability checks.
Okay.
You feel the nausea, but you manage to shake it off. And then it is going to attack y'all. Alright, so it's going to make one slam attack on each of you. So, are you recklessing?
Yes, I reckless.
We'll go on you first. For a 24 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. 5 plus 4 is 9 points of bludgeoning damage as it whams into you with one of its slam attacks. And then on Chud, a 24 to hit as well.
Oh, yeah.
for 14 points of bludgeoning damage as the slam breaks into the side of you.
It will be initiative after the plant is done.
That's what I would use with this only.
Akiko,
11
Quill,
with disadvantage.
Chad,
12.
Vine,
Vine goes on 11,
Aubrey,
13,
and the wolf pack.
5.
Alright, Raphael's first.
John, maybe which one see it?
So I am going to spend 2 sorcery points to twin the next spell I cast,
Okay,
and I'm going to prepare Enlarge Reduce.
okay.
I'm going to cast Enlarge on Akiko.
Okay.
So your size doubles.
It's
You have
clobbering
advantage on strength checks and saving throws, and you have 1d4 extra damage. Yep. And I'm going to cast Reduce. Since with Twin Spell, I can cast either half on the plant, try and make it smaller. It needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Oof. Okay, so 16 plus 3, so 19.
Okay, yes, it passes. But we have a giant barbarian.
Yeah, we do. With an even bigger Tetsuo.
I was thinking. He's trying to think of what creature could be. Use one of the giant
I
ones.
have a mini. That would be perfect.
But is it a mini or a maxi?
It's
Like an ogre would work, right?
I have a female Oni that has a Tetsubo somewhere. I'm trying to
But we
remember
just
where-
repacked the entire office and
Yeah.
everything is
I'm trying to
gone.
remember. I don't know where it's at. Go ahead. I'm not up for a little bit.
Okay, so that is Raphael's turn, which brings us to. We are gonna need him because it's the plant's thing, so he's gonna probably get hit.
Okay. John, I'm attacking Akiko!
I can track this stuff.
Okay. So it's gonna take an attack at each of you again, each of them again. So on Akiko, that's not likely to hit. That's an 11.
No, that'll miss.
Okay, and then on Chud, plus 7 makes it an 11.
Wow. Okay.
Not a good roll.
No. No.
Let's see. Nope, they're not both three. Okay, so that's the big bad's turn.
Alright. Chud's turn.
Alright, so I will attempt to swing at it.
It attacked you and missed.
25
25 to hit? That's definitely a hit.
for 11 points of damage.
Okay.
And then
Big bad.
I'm going to use my second wind
Okay.
and attack again. Or no, action surge.
Against
Action surge, yeah.
Second is the healing.
Yeah.
11.
That's not a hit, unfortunately.
Alright. So it's Akiko and the Vine simultaneously.
Okay. The vine will just basically it will attack the wolf. The wolf needs to make a Constitution saving throw. Natural 20, so it will take half damage. Okay, we got that out of the way now. 4. 23 divided by 2 would be 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 11 points of damage to the wolf. So, as you guys, you see just the wolf disappears. And in its place, there is a, you guess, female dragonborn wearing some kind of leather armor that is fashioned to look like overlapping pieces of scale, dragon scales. She basically screams out in pain, but it ends in kind of hiss.
You get it, a dragon.
So, Vine was summoned with Akiko.
Yep.
So I'm poisoned, so I have disadvantage. I will reckless.
Okay.
I am going to Great Weapon Master.
Okay. Great Weapon Master is where you reroll 1s and 2s, or is that
No,
the...
It's where you take -5 to hit for +10 to your damage.
Okay.
Wolves.
Well, I get an AC of 10.
That is a miss.
Yes.
Sorry.
Quill.
Not fully knowing much about druids, would I know that the reason she reverted was probably from being damaged, or did she revert intentionally?
It did not look like she was doing anything intentional at the time.
Yes.
Basically, it flexed and she got hurt. So
Yeah, so she probably needs assistance, is what I would gather. I will redirect my focus on the vine for the moment and try to Eldritch Blast that with a 14 to hit.
That's a hit.
Woo! And then it's going to be 10 force damage.
10 points of force damage?
Yep.
Excellent. So the vine is kind of blasted and knocked off kilter for just a moment, but it is still gripped around the form of this woman.
And speaking of, it is the wolf pack's turn, the group of.
Is the big plant already gone?
Yeah, it went
It
when you
missed.
ran off. It
Did
missed.
I need to make another Constitution saving throw, or are we just poisoned until?
You're poisoned for 1 round. Go ahead. Yeah, make a Constitution saving throw because I've forgotten about
So
the area thing. You've already shaken
once
it,
you-
so yeah, once you shake it, you're good.
So I will have.
You have advantage on it, right? Because it's Constitution. Oh, but you're poisoned.
But I'm poisoned.
Okay.
I don't remember if poison affects saving throws.
A poisoned creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. It doesn't say saving.
Yeah, not saving.
And
Uh,
large
there's
advantage on strength checks on Constitution.
Make it.
Right.
Okay.
But a saving
Yes.
throw is not a check.
Alright, so I will shake the poison effect.
Yay!
Excellent. And then, like I told Chad, once you've shaken it, you're basically immune to it going forward.
Okay, so wolf pack.
Okay.
And
So-
after that, it'll be our initiative.
This one shifts back into a wolf form.
60.
It will bite at the vine. It will miss, and it will bonus action heal itself for 6 points.
It tries.
Okay. So, and then the ranger will fire again at the large thing in the middle. Will not get advantage this time. So 14 will miss the big one.
Yeah, because it's not fun.
Right, so that shot misses, and the rogue will take an attack on the vine. We'll get advantage because, oh shit, the wolf are gonna go. Oh god. The rogue will miss. Stab, stab! Looks at their blades. Fuck.
You should probably watch where I'm stabbing.
Roll initiative.
And then from off in the distance, you can hear the sound of running feet over here.
And then, so it's initiative. Vine,
17,
Aubrey,
7,
wolf pack.
17.
All right, the vine and the wolf pack are up first.
Okay, so the vine will take a slam attack on each of you again. Chud?
Vine or the plant?
No, the vine is up first.
Oh, my bad.
Vine, not the
Okay.
plant.
So the vine will take an attack on the wolf. The wolf is going to need to make a constitution save. And the wolf will fail, so it will take 4 points full damage.
Maybe it should trick me to something better.
Maybe. 21 points of damage. So the wolf form disappears again.
Go on.
And not to meta, but that was its last animal shape for the day. Or at least until a short rest.
Yeah, that's right. Most of them are
Okay. Alright, so that is the vine's attack is basically just flexes its spines and sinks it into this now smaller form.
And then it is that group, that wolf pack groups.
Okay. The running sound finally makes its way over here.
As the dog shows up.
He's so kind. So right there. Huffing and puffing, hands on her knees. She's very, very tired. She says something in Draconic. You two understand it.
Yep.
She says something along the lines of, put your left paw in, put your left paw out, put your left paw in, and shake it all about. And she will give inspiration to the damaged one over here. And for her action, she will fire a hand crossbow at the vine. Inspiration is a bonus action. She will miss. She dropped. And the ranger will fire at the big guy. You will also miss. Guys, come on!
Nice.
That's just armor.
I
And
haven't hit anything in a while, so.
I think I've landed 2 Eldritch ones.
the rogue will attack the vine. It will actually
I've landed 2
rogue
attacks
will
though.
hit.
Well, if we could have just slept through the night. Oh.
Yeah, things just do not go well for me if I don't get a good night's rest.
As a cat, I agree. I need a minimum of 18 hours of sleep a day.
11 points of piercing damage to the second vine. 40 as both daggers
Quill, you will
plunge
be up
in and
next
it's going to
once
slice
the
outwards.
roll's done.
She's trying
So
to
if you-
cut her friend loose. Who is after the wolf?
That's going to be Quill, who is going to help the now reverted wolf for the second time apparently.
Shooting the vine.
Yeah, it's going to be a total of 20 to hit,
That is a hit.
and it's going to be 11 more points of force damage.
11 points of force damage. 2, 5.
And Chud will be up next once we're done with Quill.
I don't really need to move right now, so that's going to be me.
Alright.
Okay, so I'll use my second samurai ability for advantage. 19.
That will hit.
For 11 points of damage.
Nice. And it's the big bag, 11 points. You get up to 50 points total. So you slash into it. This time you can see that you made a dent in it. It takes it a little bit longer to ride around it and patch itself back up. But this whole thing just shudders, and it's really gross looking. Who is after Chud?
After Chud, it is Akiko.
Alright, here we go. Now that I am loose and I am feeling a little bit better, shaking off the sickness, I will recklessly attack it again with Great Weapon Master.
Okay.
But this time at actual advantage.
That was not poison.
And I will hit.
Definitely.
I'm assuming that a 19 will hit.
Definitely, yes.
Nice.
God. 13, 14, 14 plus 18 is
32.
32 points of damage.
We don't have a rogue.
2. Alright.
Who needs a rogue when you've got
So you like flex and wail into this thing, and you leave like a dent. And where the dent is, there's like a ripple outwards from it across the flesh. And it starts trying to patch itself back together, but it's taking some time. There's basically, you just create a crater in this worm creature. Yes. Who's after Akiko?
The giant plant.
Giant plant.
Yep.
Okay. So it will take both of its attacks on you because you're scary.
Out of everything, it's trying to recognize the plant monster as like a face. Out of
17?
everything.
17 to hit, yes.
Okay. And 9. Okay, so
I was reckless though. I did the damage.
so it's a 2 or a 6, so plus 7. Does a 13 hit?
No.
Okay, so the one that missed would still miss.
I like to use my reaction to attack it.
Oh yeah, because you took
Clear up
seven.
7
Oh yeah, sure, go for it.
That's a miss.
8.
18 points of damage, so you will take 9.
Look at how giant she is. Pay attention to me.
So you at it, but it's just too fast, so that's basically one of the vine arms kind of comes out and slaps into Akiko's side. Her big side, she's got big booty.
A lot of junk up in that trunk.
Yep.
Indeed.
So
All
let's see,
right.
after the mound, who's after the mound?
Raphael is. Going to bonus action healing word on Akiko. You take 9 points of healing.
You take it.
Take.
You don't get it.
We'll take the healing. And I am going to firebolt the giant plant.
Okay.
I don't really have a whole lot. Natural 20.
Nice.
So it's probably not going to do as much, but we'll see. 18 points of fire damage.
So it will take 9 points.
Okay.
Still pretty decent.
Yeah.
So it blasts into its side. There's a sizzle. And the smell of like corn on the cob? Maybe?
Yeah, sadly, I've got like 2 attack spells that are melee, basically.
Yeah.
That's cantrips. And then both of my ranged attack spells are all fire based. So, alright, initiative.
You got a 10.
Quill.
11.
Chud.
5.
Alright, Vine.
7,
Aubrey.
7,
Wolfpack.
9. Yes!
Alright, so Raphael is first again.
Yeah.
No.
12's highest initiative, guys.
Yep.
That's amazing.
I think we're gonna use Radiant Soul to add extra radiant damage to my stuff at least. So I'm gonna transform, you see me glow and radiant feathered wings
So
pop
like
out.
halo, big wings. There's a brief cascade of glitter as your wings come up.
Do you feel this need to murder everything now?
I'm trying to think if I want to go for the plant or if I just want to try and attack this vine real quick so we can get some help on the plant. I think I'm going to try the vine so that way I can shocking grasp it.
I'm now struggling to see it through your damn wings.
I'm still a medium creature. You're not struggling to see through.
No, I know.
But you're just too damn pretty.
Natural 20s.
Second time in a row.
Second time in a row, yeah. So it's only a D8 this time, but it's
You have your radiant damage too, right?
yeah, which only adds a set amount, not dice.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But still,
That's still
it's another bonus.
yeah.
Oh.
4 points of electric and then 4 points of radiant. So 8 total.
4
Depend-
points of electric,
4
8 points of radiant on the
No, 4
vine.
points of radiant
4 and 4.
Total of 8 points of damage.
on the vine, yeah.
On the vine, okay.
Oh, so 4 lightning, I mean, not like electric, but yeah.
So a total of 8 points of damage on the vine. So
Yeah.
it's up to 59. Alright.
And then,
So you grab it and you shock it.
yeah, basically.
Nice. And then like your holy glitter power just lingers on its flesh.
And then I'm gonna back up so I'm not out of melee with, so I'm out of melee with it. And then because it can't take reactions until the start of its turn.
Nice.
So, and that is Quill next.
Does the vine look like that did it in, or is it still holding on?
It is now a glittery vine. As this holy power just kind of radiates off of it, and it kind of shoots through like poison in your veins. There's just little lines of light that run through it. But it is still writhing and slapping back and forth. The end of it is not wrapped around the person.
I'm gonna go with cock because that wasn't a steady number. Oh, 10 to hit.
Kind of a miss.
Yo.
Akiko is next.
Alright. Same thing. Reckless Free Weapon Master.
Uh,
21.
That's a hit.
Punch it! Punch it!
Come here, right?
very well.
10, 15, 17 plus 18.
35.
35 points of damage to it.
Damn.
Those are just like you see like green veins starting to like form around my muscles and everything. They're flexing and I'm just like slamming.
I'm sure you're got a nice big old brain.
Your eyes are glowing blue or glowing green.
And it's,
Chud, make a perception check.
19.
19. Okay, so you see that as Akiko lands this attack, it's very impressive. There's a brief flash of green light from where her weapon impacts, and it lights up, and you can see there's actually blood coming down Akiko's face. And it's coming out of 2 small wounds that are poking out of the tips of her forehead.
I'll keep that information to myself.
Who is after Akiko?
The wolf pack. So the other party.
Alright. So the bard is going to move up to let's see. She should be able to get to the snake. Or to the vine.
And she slams into a tree.
Completely pulls it
The
over.
range of a bard.
Amen. Bards are
Has a big rage.
Barbarian.
Okay. And she will cast.
I prefer skull, thank you.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
She will cast Cure Wounds and Healing Word on the Dragonborn that's all caught up.
Technically, she can't do both.
One.
Oh, that's right, because it's a cantrip and a first level spell.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
Or
yeah.
the second spell has to be a cantrip, but if it's the
Has to be
bonus
HP.
action or the regular.
Sorry.
I made that mistake a couple of times as doing it, so I figured
It's like I just want to fix them. Okay, that's pretty terrible. Okay, so she can't get to it from where she's at here. She can't reach the rogue.
There's a tree between them.
There
I
is
mean,
a tree between them.
I think
where does she
probably-
start? Because she might have been able to.
Yeah, she started right there.
Yeah.
So she could have easily gone up to either of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can get to either.
Yeah.
Okay, so she will go up to behind the rogue.
Okay.
She will cast True Strike on the rogue, so it'll have a plus 20 to hit on its next attack. And I think that's what True Strike does in this edition. And she will cast Healing Word on the Dragonborn.
So much nice first.
Yeah.
It's advantage in this edition, not plus 20.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So the Dragonborn will heal for 7 points.
I said they give the rogue or the rogue once, though. Advantage on their attack.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the rogue will actually take her attack now, and she will stab at the vine. She has advantage on the hit because of the True Strike. So she will hit with a 26 to hit.
Yeah, that's a hit, so you only need a 14. So.
Yeah,
Sounds cool to say.
it is cool to say. She gets sneak attack damage, she can base contact. 10, 12, 13 plus 4 is 17 points of damage to the vine. And up to. Oh, so she cuts into the vine with this bluish light blowing off of her daggers. And it seems to be pretty effective as a Dragonborn that's restrained with it. It almost falls out, but not quite. And the vine does seem to be losing some of its leaf. The ranger will fire at the big critter in the middle.
Yes, bro.
Hits. Deal 7 points of piercing damage to the big blade. And that makes it. Oh, the Dragonborn is going to attempt to disengage from the snap of the vine. Sorry.
Are they grappled?
Yeah. So I messed up and haven't been having her make the checks, but she got a natural 1. That's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, she's been attacking, so she hasn't been able to escape.
Okay.
Like it's an action to escape, and if you
Okay.
tell she's an action to attack.
Well, then I
so-
don't feel so bad that she's basically been tortured.
Yeah.
All right, who's after the wolf pack?
It is the Vine and Aubrey.
Okay. The vine will. The vine will flex, and the Dragonborn will need to make her
Con save.
con save. She does make the save with a 17 save. That's enough.
It's gonna be
So the
shut.
Dragonborn will take
20.
20 divided by 2 is still 11 points.
Yep.
Okay, 9. That's not so bad. Right? So the Dragonborn like hisses in pain. And the big green one will attack the two of you. So one on Chud. 15.
Miss.
Were you reckless?
Yes.
Oh, natural 20.
Do
Okay.
Do.
Alright, so 2d8 plus 10. I think you're making that easy now. So 23 points of bludgeoning damage as it slams into
So
you.
divide by 2.
11.
11.
I just had to do that in my mind.
And
Do
then
it
if
for
that's
mine.
that's
turn. I'm gonna use my reaction.
It's turn.
Second.
Go for it. Yeah. 4 of those a day, or is it just every turn?
Just
that's
every.
that's
yeah,
all it is,
whatever.
a reaction.
Yeah.
Beauregard needs to use that shit.
She does.
She does on occasion.
14.
Not quite, it's almost 15.
But it is your turn now, Chad.
But it's my turn, so I'll retry.
And it's a free attempt.
It is. Yeah, that's the awesome part. Natural 20.
Woo!
Nice. See, I switched dice for that one. So. 9, 13. What was it?
Double the dice
You're
first.
18 plus 4 is 23 damage.
23 points of
22.
damage.
22.
22. 1, 8, 5. Chad, how would you like to do this?
Can I see like a discernible anatomy? Or
Every once in a while, you see part of the mask kind of rise up, and it kind of looks like a head. You know, when the sand sinks into the ground after it's a tiger in Aladdin, there's just a vague maw, and it closes back down and kind of becomes one with the ripple again. So
Okay.
every once in a while, it comes up, so you can time your attack to hit that mouth.
Yeah, I want to right in the mouth.
Right through the mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go up, and you have to step a little bit up on your tippy toes, but you put your full height into it, stab up into its head, and as you pull your blade back, it seems to just split that part, but then there's just this disgusting squelch as the whole thing collapses down into the ground around you. And it's like this puddle of, like I said, bone, animal bones, there's mud, there's blood, there's plant matter, rotten branches, tree roots, all just kind of gnarled together in this mess. But it is no longer animated and attempting to eat you, so that's nice.
Nice.
Alright, and that makes it initiative.
15 for me.
Alright, Vine.
3!
Aubrey's out, right?
Yes.
And Wolfpack.
9.
Alright, so Quill is first with a 21.
And this poor Dragonborn still struggling with Divine, yeah?
Yep.
Yep. We're gonna go for a 21 to hit on that with an Eldritch Blast. And that's gonna be 13 points of force damage
13 points of force damage.
On the Vine.
on the bottom.
Goes up to 89 points. So your blast hits it, and it slams into the creature, and it goes stiff and basically spikes into the Dragonborn a little bit, but she's already so punctured at this point that she's basically just still in the same holes. And then it falls limp, and the Dragonborn is actually dropped to the ground from where she was mildly suspended, because she's no longer on 4 paws. So she is not prone,
No, I know.
but the no, I said she is knocked prone.
Yeah.
You're right.
is.
Yeah. But the vine is defeated. Definitely
I
copyrighted.
can't handle
So-
the Divine is alive and longer than that.
Well, Akiko did some pretty hefty damage.
Yeah.
And Judd did too. That last hit was pretty beefy.
And a lot of people kept missing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was dice rolls.
I'm gonna take a bit of cloth and kind of make a bandana, and so your forehead's bleeding. And I could go and hand you the bandage or bandana to put around yours.
As the rage kind of like simmers down and the green kind of fades from your vision, you're kind of pissed off, but there is something going on with your forehead, and it feels like you've hit your head before, just on a beam. It kind of feels like that. All of it's kind of throbby and bruised and tender up in there.
Thanks.
Just wrap it around like a bandana so it'll hide the horns poking out through your forehead.
You can feel there's
Little nuts.
little tiny nubs poking through the flesh. And as you're putting the bandana on and your rage is kind of fading and everything, you can feel the swelling kind of going down and they recede into your flesh, but there are still holes in your forehead where they were.
I'll cover it up just so that the eating everything stops.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's weird.
The Dragonborn and the gnome all congregate around the injured one.
Alright.
How long does being big last?
It lasts for a minute.
Oh.
Basically, we had gone 3 rounds. Like, that was what these numbers were tracking. Because I'm assuming we're on initiative order.
Yes, the initiative order is.
But unlike haste, you do not have any negative effects when you let it get off you. Yeah.
Just the disappointment of being normal again.
They're being short.
Alright, so the green one that kept turning into a wolf will sit up. She doesn't get all the way up, but she will sit into a sitting position and she will actually pull out a wand and tap it on her arm. And you can see some of the holes where the wounds were at actually close up around it. And she will just kind of lean back against the tree, look at everyone and be like, "You're all good fighters.
Where's
Good
my
job."
dog?
The dog. That's the dog. Oh, the dog. Fucking dog. She goes back to just patching up her wounds and doesn't pay any more attention to it.
No, man, you don't understand. I had a dog.
It wasn't your dog.
No.
We're gonna have to talk about this. This like pint-sized little green person comes up to you, and she's maybe 2 feet tall. Her hair makes her about 2'8", because it is full-on gnome hair up above her head, neon green, and it looks like it was styled up in a mohawk maybe yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's got like
The egg whites
Little
are starting to
flops.
fade.
yeah, a little floppy. It's like, so you saw my dog come through here?
Max, right?
Max, yes! Fucking Max! I pulled him out to do some training yesterday and he just took off. He hates learning.
Isn't there still like purple like
Pedal.
goo around?
Yeah, I can tell Max was through here, but you guys were talking about him, so I came over to see why. What did you do to Max? What's with the fucking plant?
We were gonna ask you that. We don't know either.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with fucking Max. Didn't say that his name was so long. But Max said that he belonged to somebody that was short and green.
Well, it's good he was able to remember that much. Wait, how did he say that he... Oh.
The rat turns into a wolf.
Well, yeah, but that one got giant and smashed with a stick, so didn't
Tetsubo.
Magic.
Tetsubo.
I'm gonna do the magic.
Magic. Awesome. Speaking of which, and she will walk over towards the dead matter area. She will cast a spell and she will start digging through the matter, basically.
So Max is your dog. Do you treat him well?
Max gets treats when he behaves and doesn't run off. Max is a little bit spoiled.
I'm not gonna know anything. I was trying to see insight because Max ran away from this person, these people.
What'd you get?
4.
4? You get that she's concerned. Like, she seems legitimately concerned. You don't know if it's because she's been caught or because they're in the woods in the middle of the night fighting this thing, whatever it is. But the ranger over here, the one that had the longbow, kind of sit down next to the wolf, the druid, the shape changer, and just kind of like, fucking hate that dog. I hate that dog so much. No, the two just kind of like nod in agreement. The gnome is still digging through looking for the thing. And she eventually comes up with, ha-ha! She holds up, it's a small purple figurine, like a 3-inch model of Max.
Mm.
And it's stone and it's purple, and she takes it and she goes, "You fucker!" And she puts it in her pouch.
It's just a magical dog. Okay.
Hey, you guys, there's some other stuff in here. And she keeps digging through the muck.
Quill is very confused.
I just watch her and then go over and start digging through the stuff with her.
Here, hold this. And she slaps something in your hand. It's covered in mud and grub. You have no idea what it is. And then she keeps digging and she says, ooh, well, this is neat. And she pulls out something and she kind of like shakes most of it off. And she calls out to the room on the other side.
I'm not over there.
I'll throw it at you.
She's throwing mud, look out! She'll basically take something that she pulled out of mud and she throws it at the small stabby green dragonborn and says, there's this! Look at this! What is it? And then she keeps digging through the muck. And she pulls out what looks like there's a giant sword, something that looks kind of like a muddy blanket. There's a set of gloves. It takes her a while to find the other half of the first one. But the thing that Akiko threw at you is some kind of ring. You would guess once you basically clean it off a bit.
Yeah.
And then Quill, give me a perception check.
And it's a 3.
3, nice. You have no idea. You think they're cleaning mud off of a stick because you're still kind of standing over next to the road.
Yeah, no, I have no idea what's really going on.
Do the rest of you want to take a look?
Yeah, I want to go see what she threw there.
Okay. So you go over there and the Dragonborn is basically taking out a water skin and is rinsing off this stick, and once it gets all clean you can see it's just a little recorder, like a little flute. But it looks like it might be made of some kind of horn, and it's tinted black. Like it looks like it was carved from a black horn of some sort. You don't know what.
Hold on here. We're the ones that killed this thing. Why are you guys getting the loot? That doesn't make any sense. Does that make sense to you, Quill?
Is that what's being passed around? I thought they were just throwing mud.
There's sticks with like recorders. What? Who do you think you are?
I'm just trying to get out of the muck. None of you are digging through the muck.
Well, you
I pick her up out of the muck. Toss her off to the side.
Break Wilhelm screaming.
That's actually all that.
Is it really? She's just like, ugh.
You got your
I don't
dog.
appreciate that. She's gonna come over to the road. So what is it? Because it's like a stick.
No.
What?
You're missing the point here.
What?
You got your dog. You guys can get out. We're here.
Well, now hold on, Chud. They did help out, and we helped
Well,
them.
what? They shot this thing 2 times. We killed everything else.
I don't know. There's no need to be greedy with them.
And the druid that's sitting down will be like, you, green smashy bun, come here.
I'm glad to know.
Go over there.
She just like grins at you, no. Let me see your wounds.
Kind of point. A slight bruise across my ribs.
That's nasty. And she will boop with the stick. And she will heal you for 5 points.
Okay.
Do you have any others?
Hmm?
Do you have other wounds?
Yeah, I'm still down 22 hit points.
What the actual fuck? You will heal for 10 more.
And I'm only
You.
down 12.
Angry one.
I'm fine.
You don't have any wounds?
I'm fine.
Well, my name is Raphael. This is.
Hello, Raphael.
What would your names be?
Well, Tanya will kind of speak up. She's like, I don't expect you guys to be able to pronounce them. They're dragons for crying out loud. But there's Liz Vistix, and she'll point at the ranger.
Fish sticks. Got it?
He just hisses at you. Vistix. Fish sticks. Vistix. Be quiet. The druid's like, Zafar. And the rogue is like, pulls a hood up over her head, and Tanya says, and the sneaky one is Zira. She's a sweetheart. And Zira's like, ugh. I'm Tandy. I think we saw you guys at the inn, right? You staying at the 3 Twigs? It's a great name for an inn. Yeah.
So very, very much a tongue twister.
Alright, so you want to talk shop about these different items here. Yes, I'm keeping Max. I'm sorry, Max is mine. My uncle made him for me. He's staying. But we do have these other things. Now, I would like to keep the flute, but I have to talk it over with these guys first. I don't know what the flute is. I don't know what any of this stuff does.
Well, here, if you give me some time, I can figure out what they do. And I can begin ritually casting Identify.
They're like hot cross buns.
It's still full of mud, so it's like.
I need that to do this, Akiko. You can play with it in a couple minutes.
The ranger like slinks off and goes and grabs wood and comes back and starts building a fire.
While I'll ritually cast Identify on the flute, we'll go from
You're
there.
actually proficient in flute?
Oh my god, you are.
He's like, I want the flute as a matter of fucking principle.
You just think you are.
Yeah. I could pick it up. I mean, how hard could it be?
Yeah, just blow into it and push the buttons. Come on.
Push the button.
We cover the hole.
That's also a saxophone.
Alright, so the ring is a ring of warmth. While wearing this ring, you have resistance to cold damage. In addition, you and everything you wear and carry are unharmed by temperatures as low as negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I appreciate that they specify.
Right.
Maybe 50 degrees Celsius. That'd be cold.
And cold AF. Yeah.
Yeah.
The flute is it's a magic flute, obviously. Sorry. The person playing it while attuned can play it as an attack. The listeners must succeed on DC 15 Wisdom saving throw, take 2d4 psychic damage. And it has the ability to cast a couple of spells out of it as well.
That requires attunement. Does it
Yes.
say by who?
Like a specification.
Requires attunement by a bard.
I really wanted to give you time. I really wanted you to have a flute. That sounded so bad it could hurt people.
It's a recorder too, which is ironic.
I assume I would know with Identify that it can only be attuned by a bard then, or at least someone with those capabilities.
Now that doesn't necessarily mean you're persuading him not to want it, but that is.
No, but I am going to be upfront about it. And so, Chud, I know that you want this flute, no, but I'm pretty sure only one with their capabilities. I'll point at the no. Pretty sure only one with your capabilities can actually get comfortable and use this.
I will get comfy with that. That's so cool. The sword is a great sword +1. The gloves are gloves of thievery. The gloves are invisible while worn. While wearing them, you gain a +5 bonus to dexterity for sleight of hand checks and dexterity checks made to pickpockets.
Ooh, I want that.
Why?
Pull out my thieves' tools.
Okay.
Back in my pocket.
Yes,
Yeah.
Akiko is the closest thing to a rogue you guys have in this
Yeah.
party.
Yep.
So.
That's why there was no argument.
And then the last, the monkey blanket looking thing is actually a cloak of elven kind.
Should I use two-handed weapon?
Yeah. I'll take the great sword.
I was gonna say I'll give you the great sword as I have a feeling
And you want to
like
use that instead of the katana?
No, I'm selling for gold.
Well, hold on, maybe we can trade.
Yeah, because this other group is gonna want stuff, so we can do the things we don't want and take the things we do.
Max.
we don't want
Max is off the table, big guy.
Don't get short with me, Frodo.
Oh, you want to go there, red stuff?
Hey, Chad, settle down here. We're all friends here. We don't need to get aggressive with each other.
Yeah, I guess. What are you guys doing out here in the middle of the woods anyway?
Well, we were on a journey back to town when we stumbled across Max.
Yeah, we had.
Yeah, we were looking for Max's owner. Looks like we found him.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So Max ran off when he saw you.
No, Max ran off because we tried to work on tracking. You know how you get that dog to track? You can't. He thinks his ass is the only thing worth tracking. Trying to
By
focus on
suddenly
tracking
all
the
the little dots
trail.
connected to earlier when he was running in circles.
But
We're just trying to teach him some skills that make him more useful.
Well, he was following us, and when he saw you run up towards us, he bolted.
Yeah, that's because he knows that I'm gonna put him back in his rock if he doesn't listen. Last time, he was grounded for 3 days.
I mean, that sounds like a thing between you and Max.
Yeah, right. I think that whatever my uncle did to make him glow with like flames and stuff kind of made him stupid.
Yeah, sure.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a word for it. I mean, I love Max dearly, but he's dumb.
He is a dog.
Well, yeah, but most dogs can learn more than 2 tricks.
Sure.
The only trick that I've been able to get this stupid Max to learn is sit. Can't do track, can't do shake, can't do anything.
No, he shakes. He tried shaking with
Not on command, he just does it when he's feeling friendly.
Okay, there's no argument for me.
I can train him for you. I mean, I will mail him back to you when we're all done.
Nice try, big shot.
Chad, you're
I
not
like
gonna
your
win this
flag.
argument.
So there was, what's the ring?
With 3.
It's a ring of
a
warmth.
ring of warmth. Yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Well, not
Really
was there gloves?
Yeah, the gloves.
I gave you the gloves.
There were 5 things: the ring of warmth, the magic recorder, the great sword plus glove.
Yeah, the
plus
recorder
one,
was the only thing I
blood
didn't
of thievery,
like.
and the cloak of elvenkind.
Mm.
Cloak of elvenkind gives you advantage on stealth, and other people disadvantage as long as you have the hood up. Requires attunement.
Okay.
I know what that does because
Not.
Well,
no,
Oh.
my
so does anyone want the great sword?
No, I can need for it.
I mean, like legit want the great sword.
The druid will pipe up and be like, I have no interest in the sword, but the cloak would be nice. Spellcaster, can you use the cloak if you shape forms?
Would I know that?
I know player's handbook rules as written, as long as
Pretty
you
sure that you
set it up before you shapeshift, yes.
Yeah.
It's only for the hood up for us.
I just
The
don't know.
item itself doesn't say it.
I just don't know if Quill would know that.
Most magic items.
When you
druids
identify
actually
it,
get
yeah.
Okay. Then
I
yeah.
think
If I knew that, I would tell them
that
that
you don't
yes.
get any benefits.
Well, it says while you wear this cloak with its hood up. So I guess if they were willing to run around as an animal with a cloak on.
Yeah, as a DM, you could say like he was talking about if you
Put the
put the hood up and
And
then
then
shapeshift, maybe.
because it was
But it
already
seems like-
applying.
But at the same time, that makes the cloak disappear. So I don't know.
I think that they just kind of go into your body. I think most of your stuff you still
Yeah,
actually-
well, it's one of those things
No,
that
you
you
don't get any
decide.
benefits from armor. It actually talks in there. You don't get any benefits for.
Even magic rings and stuff?
equipment that merges into form has no effect until you leave the form. So
Okay.
you basically, you get to pick, the DM gets to pick if stuff merges or if it can be worn still in beast form. So it would be up to you if you would have it merge or if you would have an animal with a cloak or rings or
It's
whatever
kind of
else.
like a play on the big bad wolf and Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
As far as you know, it depends on the magic item.
Okay. So yeah, then I'll tell them. I'm not really sure. It really just depends on the item. I'm not one for shapeshifting, so your guess is as good as mine.
Do the gloves require two?
I believe so.
No.
No? Oh.
Yeah, it's
I'll just put the gloves on. Mess around with them.
It's in my pockets.
I would like to take the cloak. I am the least sneaky amongst my companions. I think that it would be good for our survival.
I already have a cloak. I'm fine with this.
This is a very nice cloak.
Thank you. It's for my uncle. You don't know
Uncle's
anything
okay.
about him, do you? No, it's mostly a joke. These people don't know anything about Quill's uncle.
Do you know her name?
I don't think we ever asked.
Yeah,
Oh wait, yeah, we
she's
did.
Candy.
Yeah, never mind. I was like, I wrote them all down.
But they will kind of sit around the fire. They bust out their rations.
Who's one looking for?
Felito Monty.
So maybe.
Yeah, I was going to.
Oh, hey,
Like,
good
like-
knowledge.
So there's nothing you would take for the dog? Just asking, just making sure.
Yeah, we're just chatting here, you know.
In a friendly fashion.
She kind of puts her hand on her hip.
This one.
No, the dog is a family gift. He's very important to me.
Is your uncle still alive?
Somewhere, probably.
Does people make more dogs? We all have dogs?
I mean, would he do that for like somebody pay you?
I think that if you had the money to do it, sure. He just kind of made this one. I think he was high when he made this one, but his stuff is all kind of weird. It's nice.
Okay. Do you know where he's at?
Hmm?
Do you know where he's at?
Yeah, he's in the capital city. That's so far. No, Hero. In Hurin. Hurin?
Well,
Hero.
Guys, this is a great conversation and all, but I'm actually curious if you know of someone by the name of Felito Monte. And yes, I will just interrupt them.
Felito Monti.
Yeah.
Sounds Venetian. Let's see. She does not recognize the name Felito
Are you
Monti.
asking me human
Um,
character?
No, I'm asking you as a player.
I don't think I know of any Felito. I travel a lot. We've actually only been in Minette for a couple of days. It's a real tough crowd there.
at least half a day.
Alright. Well, I don't know about you guys, but they didn't have much by the name of Felito, so we're not going to find anything there.
No.
You should probably ask some locals. The locals here like to gossip a lot.
Yeah, we were on our way back to town. It
Yeah,
was just
we-
the whole next
I
distraction.
figured since we were already here and chatting, doesn't hurt to ask. Maybe you did know the person.
Yeah, could have saved us
I do
time.
know a lot of people. Like I know these guys. These guys.
These guys.
These guys.
So my friend really wants the dog. Could I trade you the sword and the gloves for the dog?
I appreciate your persistence, but the answer is still no. If you want your own dog, you're gonna have to go ask my uncle for one.
Which direction is that?
That's in Krill. It's hella east of here.
Southeast, yeah. In the Gnome Lands.
Tell you what. After we finish finding
Felito.
Felicio, we will go get you a dog.
Yeah.
I promise.
Alright.
Travis the Great Blunderer.
That's the great blunderer.
That's my uncle.
Did he earn the last?
Oh, he earned it.
Okay.
Yeah. His workshop is actually outside of Hero. That's how big he is.
I'm sure that's not for like safety reasons.
Oh, it's definitely for safety reasons.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not allowed near pig farms anymore. Yeah.
Alright.
Squeal like a pig, boy.
What kind of thumbs?
It's safe to say this guy's not licensed.
Alright. But after basically taking a short rest, chit-chatting for about an hour or so.
Short rest.
Yes, straight. They will do a short
I
rest.
didn't use any spells.
They would like my eraser? I suppose so. Here you go. They would be happy to take the cloak and the flute. And leave you guys the gloves, the +1 sword, and the ring of warmth. If that is amenable to the rest of you.
I'm fine with that.
Okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, we can't do anything with the flute.
And we're probably not going to be that sneaky, honestly.
There's too many of you who aren't.
Yeah.
No.
You get disadvantage on my stealth.
No, if you wore the cloak, he would give you a straight roll.
Yeah.
Elves who already have a cloak.
So you said the ring of warmth requires attunement?
I believe so.
Does anyone want the ring of warmth?
I mean, no, it
It honestly would benefit me.
I'll take it for funsies if no one else does.
While wearing this ring, it does require attunement. You have resistance to cold damage.
Yeah, so it does give you resistance to damage.
And I don't get cold.
And you kind of don't get cold. I mean, if you want it, I'm
I
fine
don't
with
have a
that.
reason not to, yeah, unless someone else does. Or
It's not interesting enough for me to really want it.
He's holding out for the weird shit. But unless you guys have any objections, they will actually walk with you back to town because their only reason for leaving town is to find Max.
Safety in numbers.
Yeah. I will play my 5 songs through the entire rest of the journey. After all, I got a new audience.
and I will in no way, shape, or form warn
And
you.
one of which is a bard.
I roll a natural 1 for my performance.
Yes.
The bard suffers through about an hour of this before it's just like, let's do a duet. Let's learn some stuff. You can teach me.
2 points
I
of
can
psychic
teach
damage.
The wolf has long since, or the druid has long since shape-shifted into a bear and has run up, basically trolled up ahead. The rogue and the ranger are both disappeared off into the brush. You're assuming that they're still following along with you guys, but the bear is lumbering as far ahead as possible.
Out of earshot, you might say.
Yes, specifically choosing an animal that does not have this. And Tandy will work with you on some stuff. Basically, you'll learn a new song,
Okay.
and she will learn that she never wants to go to Kyoto ever because she will never be able to hear these instruments without just bleeding from the ears. For sure.
Can I roll for my new song?
To perform it,
Yeah.
roll with advantage because she is holding the strings and showing you as you go.
So that would be a 20.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the best you've ever played. So it actually sounds like music. It's pretty cool. Your party members will actually look at you and take their helmets off now.
We actually enjoy our time during them.
Because before it's like, oh, it's great, Akiko.
Just
this
an
time it was
awkward
like,
tension.
alright, the kind of head bob kind of happens.
You know, my mom was actually pretty famous for
For music, that's
she didn't play this very much. She played a different
like a lap harp.
kind of.
Well, you must take after your father then. You. Okay, that was the wrong thing to say. Your mother sounds lovely. Does she have? I've seen some people have those. What are they called? The really fancy dresses.
Kimono.
Kimono. Do you have one of those?
She wore a kimono on a daily basis, like most of the ladies around town.
Also, that's not just fancy wear.
No, they had fancy ones
So what do they wear? How do they tell it's fancy time if they're not?
because it looks nicer.
Oh, like different fabrics. Okay, that's kind of neat. She like goes to play on her recorder. She tries to like play along in tune with you basically, and it's like this weird duet.
We take psychic damage from her record.
These guys do. As a player, you're immune.
Oh,
Dang, dang.
as a fellow musician.
As a fellow musician. It's a co-op job. Good job. But you guys have found the dog. You have returned the dog to its rightful owner.
We returned it so much as he was just an idiot who got caught. And we were there.
Okay, that works. And
Took enough damage to revert it to the stone figurine form.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to find that after that though.
God.
I think you didn't know where it had gone.
the problem that she has quite frequently, actually.
Ouch.
Yeah. That detect magic, very handy.
Locate object.
Yeah.
Did you guys survive? You got some sick loot, and you each get 650 experience points.
Nice.
As you trudge through the rain,
We were at 2775.
Oh,
Yeah, so we're at 3,425 now.
Back to the little port city of Vinci.
We got 650, right?
Oh, we got 650?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. As we are going back towards town, there's like a little bit of a lull in the music. I will kind of like pull him back a little bit from the group and be like, what does it look like?
it's human. Being from the same culture, would I recognize what's going on?
Probably an evil spirit. You're not like a cleric or anything like that, but you do come from a fairly suspicious culture. Especially, you're from Kinjuru, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the people that burn tieflings.
Yeah.
Ineffectively, because, well, they have fire resistance.
Yeah.
But
It's the message.
so it's kind of nerve-wracking for you, but you've known Akiko for a while, so your brain is more of the what happened and how can we stop it rather than
Yeah.
ban the witch.
I rolled a 9 for perception, so I still have no clue what's going on.
You're liking the Rambo look though.
Should I tell the others?
Not right now.
It went away. It went away. Yeah, it went away. I don't have to worry about it, right?
That was?
That's at least
What are you talking about?
Exactly. You're correct. And kind of don't want to, but if you really want me to, I'll see if I can get the dog for you. I really don't like making people mad, especially when they've been relatively friendly and helpful. But
I'll get one eventually.
okay, and just wanted you to know that.
Suppose that she was being a jerk, so I just tried to.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
So, man, this person that we're trying to find, like where we go? Like, do we just keep
Where we would
throwing
find,
darts at the board, or?
I don't know, what did they say his name was? Fellatio?
Yeah.
I was waiting. God damn.
I thought that. I was like, you know what? Not like that.
I have no idea where we would find fellatio in town. I'm sure we could find it somewhere.
Akiko, I know that
Guys.
you struggle with common, but I don't think you realize what you're saying right now. We're looking for Felito.
Okay.
Yeah, unless they're like some skilled artisan or musician or something, we're gonna be
Well, I mean,
lost.
there's no reason we can't try and do the same thing we did for the last person, and I can go and ask at the.
I think this time you could just go to the registry and I'll go play music at the tavern because
We can get anywhere.
we didn't get anywhere. I mean, we thought we were getting there. I still haven't found a panini.
Akiko's lost opinion.
It's like, I guess it's just not my strong suit. I'll just stick to playing music at the tavern.
That's all right.
Different
You're wonderful when it comes to anything in battle. I mean, like, look at me. I landed a couple of blasts with this magical power I don't understand. Meanwhile, you pummeled a giant fucking plant into nothing.
Well, there's a reason for that. This is real. Hold up the Tetsubo. Touch it.
What? Yeah, but what's your point?
See, it's hard. It's got knobs on it. When you smash things with it, it hurts.
Like,
That was a
Contemplate
beautiful
hitting
sentence.
you on an eldritch
Start to
blast.
finish.
You're just kind of throwing light at things. I mean,
Deep.
it takes a while for me to get sunburned.
Do you want to know what this feels like? Because I think you don't understand how this works.
I don't understand how it works. That's the point.
I'm gonna fire an eldritch blast at Akiko.
Roll the hit.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hit. That's a 23.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Blast them! Roll your damage.
Not raging, so you're gonna take 2.
It's only 9 points force damage.
It stings and it lingers.
Well, that's all right. All right. Now here, let me show you the.
Obviously.
Tuck and roll, bitch!
Oh no.
I rolled a 1.
Oh my god, I thought you were gonna reckless style and just
So I'm just obviously gonna. Oh shit!
No, wait, hold on.
I understand. I understand. What?
And they disappear into the night.
Oh my god.
You guys kind of hope they turn back up at the end.
Yeah.
Hopefully in one piece, not clobbered in an
Just
alley.
kind of Scooby-Doo chase. Every time you look back, you see one of us run by.
Okay, so you guys make your way back to the inn.
What time of day is it now? Probably evening.
Yeah, coming up on evening. It's basically like about 6 o'clock-ish. It's time for the winding down.
Do you think that they're still open?
The registrar? No, not likely.
You could always take a nice rest and actually sleep, and then go check in the morning. Sorry, if you can't tell, I'm a little offended that we didn't get good sleep last night.
And Tandy's like, so nice traveling with you guys. But we've got our own rooms, and we'll see you around town. Probably leaving in a few days, but I got money to make. And she hops up on the stage and she does the thing. She starts playing her music.
Well, next to her. They're playing. Not bad, not bad. It's a 19.
She'll like nod along with you. Nice. After that one song, she'll be like, that was great. You guys should get cleaned up now. Good today. She pat you on the side. Very
Come on,
good.
Akiko. At least she wants.
She splits the tips with you, so you make 3 silver.
Nice.
But yeah, I will do as she recommended. I want to go get cleaned up, and that's coming from me. The beer thing. Yeah, sorry. I'm at the camp part.
Yeah.
Judd just wishes he were that
You
flexible.
kind of got your legs up in the air, just like staring at people. Like,
Direct eye
like,
I don't know if you can see her, but Kitten is flopped over here.
Oh yeah.
And she does not flop very often. She's asserting that she ain't scared.
She's in that entryway, a little archway.
Yeah, I'll take a bath. While they're showering, I'll actually get in the bath.
Okay. So they're just like,
Yeah, I'll probably be in the bath myself. Actually, have a.
nice soak.
Mhm.
Feels nice. Except for like the rainforest and the occasional rain that you guys would get, none of you are really used to this much rain, especially with you living in Venetian. This is not Venetian weather. The fuck is this? And it's out of character, and it's a bit miserable. It kind of brings the mood down a bit to constantly be under rainfall. But soaking in a warm bathtub, you kind of let that go. It helps that there's like a lavender bath bomb.
I brought in a glass of wine with me.
Bought a some wine and some cheese and crackers. Marco comes in, puts hot towels that are wet around the backs of your necks. Pretty good.
Kind of look over at you. This is nice. Start braiding my braid. Unbraided, my hair is probably as long as I am tall.
Jesus.
It's a lot of hair.
It is a lot of hair.
And I start brushing it out with a silver comb.
Marco comes over. Do you need help with washing your hair? My sister does. She does a nice Kalmorian braid. Let me go get my sister. He like ducks out of the room, comes back a few minutes later, and Marley walks in and she's like, go get more towels. She'll come over and she's like, you have lovely hair.
Thanks, I take very good care of it.
You do. These are very, she kind of tugs a little bit, very strong. And then she'll give you like a double French braid with extra loopies and brings it around in the back into one big braid down the back end. It's very nice. There's some flowers in it. You're not sure where those came from.
Is Akiko still wearing her bandana?
I don't know. The spots healed up.
Yeah, the spots themselves would have basically scabbed over and healed a bit. And then at that point you can... Was that you? Yeah. That was scary. I was like, there's a bat in my house! Where?
She did get hit with some healing magic too.
You did, yeah. And that's basically, they've
Yeah,
scabbed over.
as long as they're not visible, I will, take off the bandana.
They don't stand out from the rest of your wounds. You were fighting a lot of spiky things. But, do you try and keep your forehead hidden, or are you just, like...
Yeah, if it blends in with the rest of the wounds, then I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay. So you all get cleaned up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Marco will clean off those of yours who wears armor. I think you are the only one with armor, aren't you?
I have leather armor.
You'll offer to clean up the armor, basically.
I appreciate
Hangs
that.
in the dry in the stable. Nice and buffed up.
I will give them 5 gold each.
Oh my gosh, thank you. It's very generous of you. Did you guys have a good trip?
Yeah.
Did you
It's
find who
it's
you
pretty
were
good.
looking for? You were looking for somebody, right?
It's been an interesting journey, to say the least. Now we're on the hunt for somebody else. Well, that's not the right word.
I was gonna say, is this all on the up and up?
Yeah,
It is.
It's-
It is.
I'd say it's
It
more
is?
of a returning lost possessions to people.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Yeah, stuff that was taken from someone else that we have been tasked with returning.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, do you know a Felicia?
What? She got like, what?
It's a Felito Monty. Felito.
Oh.
Little Monty. 18? Yeah, we've got one of his paintings out in the main room.
Actually,
He
a
stayed
painter.
here, I remember it was earlier this year. I think it was just a couple months ago. But he didn't have a lot of coin. He had that whole starving artist thing going on. So,
Do you know where he would call his home city?
well, for now it's here. I think he was on a boat. He fell in love. He's decided to move here and stay here. He sold his ship's passage to an adventurer that was actually staying here at the end.
Love is stupid.
Love will get you in quite a bind, some of them long lasting. But no, we had some Goliaths that had stayed just a couple weeks before Felito came through, and they got a little rowdy and put a hole through the wall. So we had a great big hole in the wall that we got patched up, but the wood colors didn't quite match up. And Felito came in and offered to do like a mural or a very nice in the tone. A mural over that section of it's that big piece that's over next to the barn. You guys know what she's talking about. It's a view of the city coming in from, like if you were coming in from a ship. But it's the city at night, so there's like lights shining off of the various buildings.
I'm done.
So, if Felito Monty is a painter, is he well known enough that I would have heard of him before this, or is he basically just kind of minor?
Make a
Just
people
being,
check.
I'm just being intelligent.
Intelligence, yeah.
History potentially, but intelligence. 9. No.
No. You know that there's a lot of aspiring artists out in the world, so it doesn't surprise you that you haven't heard of some painter who came here by ship. The name is Venetian, but Venice is a very large
Right.
people.
Yeah.
Hey, so a couple months. That'll be about the time that this the other lady that we had just found, and now the painter came to town a couple months ago. I wonder if maybe some being had come through town and kind of just picked people to get their souls or souls run and to make a deal. I wonder if we could track this guy or girl. And
Well, I mean, we know who did this. The person who gave this the box. He was the one who did it.
Well, he was the one that actually did it.
Yeah.
He wasn't the middleman. Okay.
Well, I mean, he was the middleman, but he is his patron.
Oh,
was-
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind.
So like,
Quill's tail is lashing, like he's like, yeah, get the dot. Yeah. What?
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's not like
Okay.
it's not like there's some creature that we could potentially find this patron, but who knows? The patron wouldn't have had to been anywhere near Orious to have given him the power to do this. So
I'm just more concerned with setting things right.
Look over at the girl in the bathroom and be like, so the water's starting to kind of get cold.
I'll go grab another pitcher. Are you done? Are you wanting
Yeah, I
to
think I'm done. Did we get our clothes washed? Was that the thing?
We've got robes for you while your clothes are being washed. Oh, she goes on the wall, basically like robes, big plushy ones. Kind of.
Just stand up out of the tub.
Oh goodness, here you go. She gives you one of the big ones, so it's like way too long for you, but it's comfy, it's cushy, it's nice. As you guys make your way out into the front area, you can see the painting and you know which one she's talking about. And down in the corner it is signed extra extravagantly, very John Hancock, Fendy Domonti.
well, if he's local, I'm gonna go up to. So is the owner the barkeep? Is that what it was? Is he working right now?
Yeah, he's up there.
So I'm gonna go up if he's not too busy, and I'm gonna ask him if he knows where the artist who did that is staying.
The
That Filito Monte guy. Do you know?
Oh, the shaggy-haired boy. Yeah, he's somewhere in town. I don't know where he's staying. He's not staying here anymore.
Okay.
He checked out. I think he got a place locally though. He fell in love with some girl. Don't know if that's still happening. Go on. He was a bit of a he's a bit of a tomcat, if you know what I mean. No offense, sir.
Very good. I don't understand the reference.
He was a little randy.
I thought his name was.
Do you like to sleep around?
Oh! Narcolepsy. Got it.
He thinks that's But no, once he was out from under my roof, I didn't pay much attention to where he went from there.
Fair enough. But all right. I guess we'll get.
Can we leave a note with you in case he swings by?
You found? Yeah.
Should we leave a note? Say found lost treasure. If you're interested.
Does he even stop by here anymore since moving out?
No, I think he's
Even
more
for
to the type
drinks?
to well he goes to the I'm not gonna say it's more fancy, but I'm going to say it's a bit more for the high-end locals.
Are there like where I came from? There were kids that would run around and deliver messages for a few coins.
Yeah.
Is there one of them? Is that a thing here?
Mm-hmm. It sure is. Marco comes right here. Yeah.
Could you go fetch? Apparently, I can't say the name. So
Solito?
yes,
I mean, I think we have to know where he is.
Tolito Mateban.
I think we have to know where he is first.
Well, the owner said he's at the other end sometimes.
No. Well, we
He
don't
gets
know he's
drinks
there now, though.
Retry.
That's the right time to
That's the
say
whole
it,
point
right?
of hiring the
I mean,
child.
what if we
Don't
do
use it
talk
anymore.
I look at my robe.
Well, the laundry's still very done.
my hair is all
Oh,
up
my
in this
shit's
like
at the dry store.
random Vinici style hairdo, which is just odd.
Oh.
Besides, it's only a few coins. We can get some food and everything and kind of relax.
We're creating jobs.
Yeah, I guess we could.
If he's there, let him know that we have a job for him and that we'd be very happy to pay him a large sum of money to commission a
Portrait.
portrait. Give the kid a gold piece.
Okay. Looking for Filito Monte,
Yep.
and he is at the other end.
It's pronounced
and-
fellatio.
Fellatio.
No.
Damn it.
It's an improvement.
The party of people at the Three Tree Twigs is willing to pay him a large sum of gold to do a portrait.
Yes.
Okay.
You can give him my name as the contact, Raphael de la Salvatore.
Raphael de Salvatore. Okay.
I'll
Torre.
I actually write it down, and then I give him, because I do have that. I give him
I can't stop it.
that. I don't have a stamp, so it's just sealed with like a twine, but.
Okay. Okay, I will deliver this.
Thank you.
And he picks up the door.
After he's gone, I order copious amounts of the apple cider stuff that I was drinking.
Apple pie.
Yeah. That's pretty good. You can drink some more of that.
Yeah.
Fireball. Apple cider.
Great balls of fire.
Yeah, that's
I'll take your word for it. I tried that and it was I can't do anything cinnamon.
oh.
Okay.
No, the flavor is fireball.
For us non-alcoholics. But he'll keep your drinks up, and then he'll actually ask you. He says, "So, lad, the skulls, those are new.
I like to take trophies.
And where did you come across those things?"
They burned down wind chimes. They burned down a farm up north and killed the father. I think it was the father, but they took the family. They were taken God knows where, and
Orcs attacking farms.
yeah.
Did you report it to the guard, or did you kill them all?
We killed them all, but
We just
Well,
fell back on that.
Two of them ran away.
Oh,
the
two.
cowards.
So there were some orcs burning and attacking the town. Well, the farms, and 2 of them got away.
we just got back to town to report it.
Yeah, we only had time to basically go downstairs, soak in a tub for an hour, hire a messenger to go get it.
No, I can see where your priorities are, but to be honest, there's really not much that the guard will do around here. That's a bit far from. They're already stretched a bit thin.
And there was one near the
And
mountain.
then the gnome just breaks in.
Yeah.
She just take it to me.
What's that? Is that Titanic
Ah, my
song?
head.
No.
My heart will go on.
Yeah, my heart will go on.
Damn Christ.
Damn
Bard's
that
Day
song.
Off. Can we play that one?
No, it was the Petiti farm northeast towards the mountains, so.
That's the farm you were looking for. The man. Did you find him?
Yeah,
That is what we were looking
What's left of them?
Well, the father wasn't who we were looking for. But
But that's
we took,
They're here and whatever.
we helped them, and then in the process we returned what they had lost. So.
Well, it's very good of you.
It's sad for them because they did lose their farm and their father/husband, but
What'd you do with them?
with the family,
Yeah.
they wanted to go to one of the nearby farms, so we escorted them there too.
Makes sense. They're probably related. Seems like all the farmers around here either know each other or related to each other.
But either way, we made sure they got somewhere safe before we left them.
Mhm.
We offered to bring them here, but they didn't want to come this far. So
It's a long ways. Plus, it's a lot of people for people that grew up in the middle of nowhere and they've got no one around them. It's hard.
Probably more comfortable with the farmers.
it does kind of wear on you being in the same place full of people for long periods of time.
I like it. You get to know people. You get to know their secrets and their favorite drink. For instance, on the house, strawberry daiquiri. There you go. And basically give you guys each a free drink because he likes what you do.
It's like Kool-Aid, but for adults.
Strawberry milkshake with pizzazz. But you guys wind down the evening. It takes Marco probably an hour to get there and back again. He lets you know that Felito wasn't in, but he left a message with the other innkeeper.
Roger that.
So if we don't hear anything tomorrow,
You can always
we can try and find out where town he lives. Try and visit.
That escalated quickly.
Would you
What's
want me
your
to do that while they do their
It's
morning
shifting.
routine? Honestly, we'll probably get back before they're done.
You guys have a nice, quiet, peaceful evening in the inn. And just kind of relax. That's where we'll pick up next week. Or the week after. 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Eventually I'll get that figured out. Hashtag DiceCon.
Oh yeah.
Hashtag nice.
Also, Warbird Battle Labs is now gotten subscribers for Twitch. So please subscribe to Warbird Battle Labs. If you get
Birds with
Amazon
a Y.
Prime, you can use your free Amazon Prime subscribe to get the Warbirds Battle Lab and watch us play Warhammer online.
Warbirds with a Y.
Lives.
It's an X. That's the little Y. Ta-da!